Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto x Artemis Crock Justice League Harem Part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for Part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. MCU Universe. There was an explosion as the Mind Stone blew up, along with Vision. Wanda had managed to hold off Thanos long enough to destroy the stone. Wanda was thrown on her side from the force of the explosion. She sat up, crying softly as she grieved for having to kill her love. "I understand, my child. Better than anyone," Thanos said as he approached her, patting her on the head. "You could never understand," Wanda sneered as she glanced up at him. "Today, I lost more than you could ever know," Thanos said as he walked right past her. "But now is no time for grief. There's no time at all." Wanda watched, confused and transfixed, as Thanos held his hand and made a gesture with it, a green circle appearing in the palm of his hand. She watched in growing horror as time was slowly rewound. Vision was slowly reassembled until he was good as new, complete with the Mind Stone. "No!" Wanda cried out, rushing forward. But Thanos shoved her to the ground as he grasped Vision by the throat before lifting the android into the air. Thanos reached for the Mind Stone and pushed deep in Vision's head, ripping out the stone as he left a hole in Vision's head. The android lost all color and died a final time. Thanos tossed the body to the ground as he put the stone in its slot. There was a flash and Thanos groaned as his very veins coursed with the energy of the 6 Infinity Stones. Then, as he marveled at nearly accomplishing his goal, he was struck by a powerful blast of lightning, being thrown back. Wanda and Thanos looked up as Thor hovered in the air. Thor charged up the lightning in Stormbreaker, before he threw it at Thanos, Stormbreaker spinning like a buzzsaw of death. Thanos unleashed a combined beam of energy from the 6 stones. The axe easily cut through the energy, and the blade struck Thanos in the chest. Thanos cried out in pain as Thor landed in front of him. "I told you you'd die for that," Thor sneered, grabbing the axe and shoving it in further, and Thanos groaned in pain. Thor stopped as Thanos seemed to be trying to say something to him. You should have gone for the head," Thanos said as he raised his hand with the gauntlet. "No!" Thor cried out, but it was too late as Thanos snapped his fingers. There was a flash of energy, and when it faded, the gauntlet seemed damaged. It was smoking and looked like it had gone a few rounds with a monster truck. "What did you do? What did you do?" Thor demanded in horror. Thanos didn't answer, simply raised his hand. He disappeared in a blue portal, Thor's axe falling and slamming onto the ground. With Thanos. Pain. Unimaginable pain. That was what Thanos the Mad Titan was feeling right now. It was far worse than being slowly combusted by the Power Stone. And because of this pain, he was unable to concentrate properly when he escaped. While he was able to open a portal with the Space Stone and make sure Stormbreaker did not come with him, he was unable to properly open the portal to where he intended. As a result, he opened a portal to another dimension by complete accident. At least, that's what he thought. Earth 16. 2010. Vandal Savage's secret compound. In the middle of a dark room was a man meditating as all the objects and people in the room, all of which had a blue glow around them, floated in the air. This costume looks exactly like Prometheus's costume from S5 of Arrow, except it is all colored jet black. He wears the bladed gauntlets and metal-plated gloves of Ra's al Ghul from Batman Begins. Suddenly, he jumped high into the air and spun, letting kunai fly from his fingers. They would not have hit their targets had he not let loose other kunai, to redirect the other kunai, deflecting them off each other, which ensured the first set of kunai hit their targets. As the cloaked figure landed, he was assaulted by 10 ninja. He pulled out one of his Chikuto and spun, cutting one ninja in half at the waist. He sliced the head off of another, before spinning and slicing open the throat of another. He parried a slash from one and cut off his arm, before moving him in the way of another stab, making him take the stab in the heart. The cloaked figure then cut off the head of the one who stabbed his fellow ninja. The cloaked figure then spun and ducked under a wild sword swing and pivoted until his back was against the ninja's back. He reached behind with one arm, and jerked the hunter's head backwards, violently snapping his neck. The cloaked figure let the body drop to the ground as blood pooled in the ninja's mouth. The cloaked figure then stabbed another ninja in the chest before pulling it out, and throwing the sword straight into the head of another ninja. The cloaked figure then caught a sword aimed at his face between the palms of his hands before he wrenched it out of the ninja's grasp. He gripped the hilt of the blade and swung it in an arc, decapitating the 9th ninja. The cloaked figure then parried several slashes from the final ninja before cutting open his stomach. The ninja fell to the ground but pulled himself to his feet, one hand holding his guts in. As the hooded figure approached, the ninja knew his fate was sealed and accepted it, bowing his head in deference. The cloaked figure stabbed the ninja in the chest, making the ninja groan as he died, before he pulled out the sword and flicked the blood off. "Well done," came the voice behind him. The figure turned and knelt as a tall, muscular male with medium dark skin tone, strong, rugged features, broad shoulders, and square jaw. He also has 3 pale scars across his face, brown eyes and black long hair pulled back. The man wore a long lapel-less dark blue coat with a red stripe on the edges. He also dons black gloves and boots. A display worthy of a son of Vandal Savage. "I'm glad you approve, Father," came the voice from the kneeling young man who just killed 10 members of the League of Shadows. "Rise, Naruto, and remove your mask," commanded his father, and Naruto rose, removed his mask and take off his hood, showing his red spiky hair and purple eyes. Vandal placed a hand on his 17-year-old son, who exceeded his expectations for all his children. "Your mother would be very proud of how far you have come." "I'm only sad that she is not here to witness it herself," Naruto said solemnly, and both father and son shared a moment, reminiscing of the passing of his mother, Kushina. Vandal Savage rarely ever fell in love. A man as old as the human race itself, it was exceedingly rare, but Kushina was different from many of the women he sired children with. Headstrong, somewhat eccentric, very level-headed despite possessing a temper and having cheerful with a noticeable sassy side to her. Vandal rarely fell in love, but Kushina was able to warm his normally numb heart. Naruto had been 8 when Kushina died in childbirth, birthing a stillborn daughter. It had been very traumatic for Naruto, but thanks to his elder half-sister Olympia and his younger half-sister Cassandra, he was able to get past it. "Yo, boss!" came Clarion's shrill and annoying voice. "It's happening today." Vandal was brought out of his temporary reminiscing. Some years ago, when the particle accelerator went off in Central City, Naruto had been on a mission and got hit with its energy. He had gained a number of abilities, like the ability to open portals anywhere on Earth, or to another planet in the universe. When Brain and Luther examined the energy, they stated wherever he was drawing his power from, his source of power might be unlimited. He could repair or power mechanisms with this energy. Aside for teleportation, he could warp the fabric of space to generate powerful spatial pressure around his surroundings, capable of crushing, pulling and freezing things in place with tremendous force in a manner akin to telekinesis, enable him to manipulate and move objects with just a single gesture. He could also create black holes. He played around with it and learned how to phase and unphase objects out of space, rendering them incorporeal, and just as easily make them corporeal again. He could also use this on himself as well. He could also conjure extremely strong blue energy force fields. He also mastered his portal ability, as he could decide what gets teleported alongside him, could decide how many people to take with him, and can even remove objects forcibly attached on his person. Clarion, thanks to being around for so long, was able to ascertain what Naruto drew power from and what it was. Clarion explained how the Infinity Stones worked. This caused Vandal to enact a plan. Vandal needed to have a weapon that he could use against Darkseid when the time came. At the end of the 12th century, Savage, who was going by Genghis Khan, built the biggest empire in history theretofore. At the turn of the century, Savage clashed with Darkseid's forces who were attempting to conquer Earth. Alongside his 2 metahuman sons and army, Savage posed resistance, but they were easily defeated. However, Darkseid was impressed by Savage and his sons' meta abilities. Seizing the moment, and with his eyes open to the greater galaxy, Savage proposed an alliance with Darkseid to conquer the galaxy, with the understanding that their 2 planets would have to battle each other when all other planets had fallen. But Savage knew Darkseid would be nearly impossible to kill. He needed someone who could do that. Savage would use the Infinity Stones for himself, but Savage dared not risk tampering with his immortality. But Naruto, on the other hand, Naruto would be perfectly suited to wield all 6 stones for his father once he had an upgrade. "Then make your preparations. We must not let this opportunity slip through our grasp," Vandal told his Clarion, who nodded. Later that night, Clarion was seen concentrating, a red chaotic aura surrounding his person. Joining him was Simon, Black Adam, Votan, and Clarion. "When is he going to get here?" Black Adam impatiently asked. "Patience, Adam, I'm sure Lord Clarion will bring him to us soon enough," Votan said. "Yeah, I'm working on it, so how about you shut it, Adam?" Clarion told them snarkily. Then Clarion piped up, "Oh, here he comes." "Get ready," Naruto told them as Clarion concentrated and a portal opened up. Thanos fell out of it and hit the ground. Almost immediately, Black Adam tackled the weakened Mad Titan and knocked him over again, getting behind him and grasping his neck while using his foot on the left fist to make sure it did not close. Clarion and Votan moved next using powerful magic tendrils to wrap around the arm they were assigned and keep them separated while Clarion, being stronger, also made sure Thanos could not close his fist. Thanos strained against the combined assault, and shouted while his mind was assaulted by Simon. With all this, he was unable to stop Naruto, who swung his sword, which was coated in blue energy, as it cut off his arm that the gauntlet was on. Thanos shouted in pain. Well, that was easy. Clarion cackled as he aided Votan in restraining the weakened Thanos. Do not assume too much, Clarion, Vandal said as he and the other members of the Light walked up while Savage picked up the gauntlet. We were fortunate that Thanos had already weakened himself by overusing the stones. Do you intend to use them for yourself? Foolish human. No member of your race has a strong enough constitution to use an Infinity Stone, let alone all 6. Thanos groaned. Well, that's why we need you, Naruto said as he charged up the energy in his sword again, before poised to finish Thanos. Well, not you necessarily, just your body. With that, Naruto decapitated Thanos, leaving Thanos' universe to its fate as it would take generations to recover from what Thanos did. Now, for final phase, Vandal said as Thanos' body was moved to another room to extract his DNA. Vandal held the gauntlet up as he looked at his son. Are you ready? The hardest choices require the strongest wills, Naruto said, unknowingly quoting the man he just killed. I will do whatever I must to safeguard the Earth. 1 month later. Cadmus. Vandal stood alone on sub-level 52 as he observed the capsule that held Project Infinity. Or technically, his son, Naruto Savage. They had gone through with the plan. Naruto had his DNA successfully infused with that of Thanos, changing his physiology and granting Naruto Thanos' physical powers so Naruto would be able to handle what comes next. Then, Naruto spent a week finding and gathering the Infinity Stones of their universe, and used the gauntlet to absorb the power of the Infinity Stones, gaining infinite cosmic power in the process. But something went wrong. During the procedure, Naruto's long-term and short-term memory was fried. Naruto survived and now possessed near omnipotence, fulfilling his father's wish of creating a person loyal to the light that could defeat Darkseid. But now, his favorite son was amnesiac, having no memory of who he was. And that is dangerous. Vandal Savage would not kill his son, not only because there was no point in killing him when he could still dutifully serve his father's plans again one day, but because it would have been a betrayal of Kushina. The genomes are in place, Dr. Desmond said a bit timidly from behind Savage. We will do everything we can for him, Lord Savage. Project Infinity is the single most valuable asset of the light. He cannot be allowed to remain an amnesiac, Vandal said as he controlled his emotions and he turned around and walked past Desmond. Fix him. 4 months later. Desmond nervously paced in the meeting room where he contacted the light whenever there was an update. The screens came down around Desmond and they blared to life, showing the hidden figures. Dr. Desmond, you require an audience with the light? Yes, very sorry to disturb at this hour, just make your report. Desmond was interrupted by another member of the light. Of course. Desmond cleared his throat and calmed his nerves before he spoke. We had a small fire here at Project Cadmus. The origin of the incident is still unclear, but it seems to have attracted unwanted attention. 3 sidekicks, Robin, Aqualad and Kid Flash, breached our security and made it to sub-level 52, where they released Project Infinity from his restoration chamber. Oh, of course, Project Infinity is still loyal to the light, and as such, captured and detained his would-be liberators. We currently have the 3 sidekicks detained and far as we can tell, the League does not know they are here. What would you like me to do with them? Desmond asked. Clone them, L2 said. The substitutes will serve the light. And only the light, L1 said. And the originals? Desmond asked. Dispose of them. Leave no trace, L1 ordered. The other members of the light left the meeting but L1 stayed. How is Project Infinity's mental restoration proceeding? L1 asked. Thanks to the repeated visits from Simon, and our genomes working around the clock, we have managed to restore some of his memories. He still speaks 7 different languages fluently, his intellect is still strong, and his motor skills function as normal. Though lately, progress has slowed somewhat. Memories of the time after he was 8 are proving resistant to treatment, though we have managed to restore some of them, and he does not seem to remember his father. His original personality has not yet been restored, as a result. It should also be mentioned that as a result, he admires the Justice League. Keep me informed of your progress, Doctor, L1 said as he clocked out of the meeting, leaving Desmond to breathe a sigh of relief. Cloning chambers. The sidekicks are awake and stare at both Naruto. Kid Flash glares at the amnesiac Savage and says, WW what you want? Quit staring at me, it's creeping me out. Robin then looks towards Kid Flash. KF. Maybe not want to piss the guy who captured us, said Robin. The sidekick stared down at Naruto. We only tried to help you, said Aqualad in a calm, cool, collected voice. While Kid Flash just glares Naruto. Yeah, we tried to help you and you turn on us. How's that for great? Kid, please be quiet now. I believe our new friend may not in full control in each of his actions, said Aqualad while Robin attempts to escape. I was in full control of my actions, stated Naruto. Kid Flash looks up in shock. He can talk, exclaimed Kid Flash. Naruto glares at the yellow and red costume theme hero. Yes, I can, stated Naruto. The Genomorph taught you telepathically? Asked Aqualad, hoping to gain Naruto's trust. They aren't teaching me anything I don't already know. The genomes are helping me recover my memory. It was lost during the event that gave me my powers, said Naruto. But they keep you locked up 1,000 feet beneath the surface. I wouldn't call that helping so much as brainwashing, asked Robin, and Naruto, being the curious amnesiac he was, considered that line of thought. Do you even know what you are? Who you are? Asked Aqualad, looking down at the two in sadness. I am Naruto Uzumaki, codename Project Infinity. Designed with the power to replace the Justice League should they fall, to destroy them should they turn from the light, said Naruto with confidence of what little he knew about himself. Aqualad looks at Robin and Kid Flash, then turns towards Naruto. To be like Justice League is a worthy aspiration, but like them, you deserve a life of your own, beyond your pod, beyond Cadmus, said Aqualad. I only have what memories I do, because of Cadmus. It's the only home I have, yelled Naruto in anger. Your home is a pod away, hidden away from the real world. We can show you freedom. The Justice League has the best telepaths in the world. I'm sure they could help you recover your memory, said Robin. Aqualad smiles down at the amnesiac. We can introduce you to the League, said Aqualad, and Naruto looked interested. No, they can't, said Desmond, walking with Guardian and Amanda. They'll be otherwise occupied. Activate the cloning process, ordered Desmond, looking towards Amanda. Pass. Batcave is crowded enough, joked Robin. Desmond, with a furious expression, looks at Guardian. And get the weapon back in its pod, growled Desmond. Guardian then walks forward next to Naruto. Hey, how come he gets to call fish cake in it? Complained Kid Flash. Guardian places his hand over Naruto's shoulder. Please help us, begged Aqualad. Desmond walks up to the Naruto. Don't start thinking now, said Desmond as a Giganome hops onto Naruto's shoulder, and the horns glow, making Naruto get a blank look. Naruto gained a dazed look. Desmond steps in front of him. You see, you aren't a real boy. You are a weapon and you belong to me. Well, to Cadmus. Now get back to your pod, ordered Desmond. Desmond was really worked up after that meeting and was not thinking straight as he tried to order Naruto around. Naruto would have walked away from Desmond, but he closed his eyes and groaned. Before he relaxed, despite the Giganome, and he opened his eyes, a cold glare at Desmond. So, that's what you really think of me, huh? I told you to get back to your. But before Desmond can do anything, Naruto clenched his fist, unleashing a wave of blue energy that sent Desmond, Guardian, and Amanda flying against the wall. They hit the ground and struggled to get up. Don't tell me what to do. He then turned his attention towards the sidekicks. You gonna to free us or fry us? Kid Flash asked. Naruto raised his hand and clenched it, causing blue energy to appear on the cuffs, keeping the heroes restrained, before they opened, as the three were let down from their binds. That answer your question? Naruto asked cheekily. Man, lucky Batman wasn't here. He'd have my head for having to be helped out of that, Robin said. Seriously? That's what you're worried about? The entire league will have our heads after tonight, Kid said. Naruto helped Aqualad down. Thank you, he said as Naruto nodded. The four then left the labs as Desmond sneered in anger. You'll never get out of here. I'll have you all back in pods by morning. That guy is not whelmed. Not whelmed at all, Robin said as he threw explosive discs at the cloning tubes. What's with you and this whelmed thing? Kid asked as they left, the pods exploding behind them, destroying any of the extracted DNA. Activate every Genomorph in Cadmus, Desmond told his Giganome, and its horns glowed red. We are still 42 levels below ground. But if we can reach the elevator then we'll be fine, Aqualad said as G-Trolls walked into the hallway. The pods behind them opened as well as more Genomorphs came out. They dodged one G-Troll as it swung down. Naruto punched one troll, knocking it out. The others looked behind them and saw Naruto drop-kick another in unconsciousness. Naruto! The goal is to escape, not to bury ourselves here. Aqualad shouted. Fine. Give me a second. Naruto shouted as he clenched his fist and used his blue energy to throw one G-Troll into the others. Aqualad then opened the elevator door, but they couldn't wait for it to come, so they started to climb. Robin shot a grapple hook while Kid Flash ran up the walls. Naruto grabbed Aqualad and jumped just before a G-Troll grabbed them. He went up about 11 floors before he hit the wall, causing a crater to form as he used his strength to grip the walls. I can't fly, in case you're wondering, Naruto said to Calder, who nodded. Guys, this will have to be our exit, Robin shouted as the elevator was coming down. Naruto jumped up to the elevator doors and punched them open as the four of them ran in to avoid the falling elevator. Hop on, Naruto said as he gestured to his back. The other three grabbed on tight, so Naruto jumped up 30 levels before breaking into sublevel 12 and making it to a stairwell. Kid zoomed up the stairs, knocking out a few Genomorphs along the way. More Genomorphs were catching up as Naruto stomped on the stairs behind him, and the force caused the staircase to collapse. Desmond, Guardian and Double X were in the elevator heading up. We'll cut them off at sublevel 1, Guardian said. We'd better, or the board will have our heads, Desmond said as he touched his forehead. My head. He hit the emergency stop button on sublevel 2. I need to get something from Project Blockbuster. I'll meet you at sublevel 1, Desmond said. The four heroes made up to sublevel 1, but the emergency system kicked in and two heavy reinforced doors blocked them off. We're cut off from the street, Aqualad said. Naruto used his strength to slowly open the door, but it was going too slow and Robin couldn't hack it open fast enough. They were then surrounded by Guardian and the Genomorphs. Everyone readied themselves to fight as Aqualad made his water swords. The Genomes then sent out psychic blasts which knocked out Kid Flash, Robin and Aqualad. Double X then walked forward and sent out his own telepathic message. Perhaps for the sake of all Genomorphs, our friend Naruto should make up his own mind, Double X said. It was you, Naruto said. Yes, Naruto. I am the one who started the fire and lured your new friends to Cadmus. Woke them when they were in danger, Double X said. Why? Naruto asked. Because you are the Genomorph's hope. You will blaze a trail for all of us, showing us the way to freedom, Double X said as he freed Guardian from telepathic control. The others began to wake up as the Genomes let up on their powers. They looked around to see Naruto stand up as the Genomorphs looked at him. What's going on? Aqualad asked. What is your choice, Naruto? Double X asked. Freedom, Naruto said after thinking about it. Cadmus didn't really want to help him recover his memories, and the three sidekicks seemed to be willing to help him. Feels like fog lifting, Guardian said as the heroes stood up. Guardian? Aqualad asked, uncertain if he was still their enemy. Go, I'll deal with Desmond, Guardian said. I think not, Desmond said as he arrived. Project Blockbuster will give me the power to restore order to Cadmus, Desmond said as he drank the blue liquid in the vial. His body began to have an immediate reaction to the serum as his muscle mass and body size expanded to more than twice its original size. Desmond's skin began to peel away to reveal a dark blue scale-like skin and his eyes turned red. Desmond roared as he was fully transformed into Blockbuster. Everyone back! Guardian yelled as he charged forward, but Blockbuster just backhanded him into the wall, knocking him out. Naruto then ran forward and landed a left cross. It fazed Blockbuster some, who roared and retaliated with a vicious right cross. Naruto then landed a three-punch combo and Blockbuster punched him into the far wall. Naruto then jumped in the air and delivered a double fist slam before picking up Blockbuster, throwing him 2 floors to ground level, before jumping after him. Okay, that's one way to bust through the ceiling, Robin said as he launched a grapple line and brought Kid with him, while Aqualad jumped up through the holes. They saw Blockbuster grab Naruto by the legs and throw him at them, though Naruto recovered in midair, his fingers digging into the ground and causing him to skid to a halt. Blockbuster yelled as the 4 heroes readied themselves for battle. Kid zoomed past Blockbuster and slid in between his legs as Naruto and Aqualad punched him so hard that he fell over backwards, as Kid kneeled on the ground so Blockbuster fell on his back. Learned that one in kindergarten, Kid said as Robin jumped over him and threw 2 throwing discs, but Blockbuster knocked them away. Naruto moved to grab Blockbuster but was tackled into one of the support pillars. Naruto punched Blockbuster hard and caused the monster's head to fly back. Naruto then flipped around and kicked Blockbuster, causing the monster to stumble before he turned, and Naruto punched him further into the pillar, before he kicked Blockbuster's chest and punched him through the pillar. Robin saw that part of the ceiling was giving way as more pillars were destroyed. Of course, Robin said as they brought up holographic floor plans. KF, get over here. Kid ran past and tried to sweep under Blockbuster but was caught, and Blockbuster swung Kid into Aqualad and both hit a pillar. Blockbuster then tackled Aqualad through a pillar and into another one as Naruto came up behind Blockbuster and used his greater strength to trip up Blockbuster, causing the monster to land on his back. As Blockbuster got up, Naruto double drop kicked him through another pillar. As Naruto kept Blockbuster distracted, Kid Flash was able to get over to Robin. Robin's holographic map showed that the structural integrity of the building was coming down, and nodded to Kid. Got it? Robin asked. Right, Kid said as he zoomed past and punched Blockbuster in the face, taking part of what remained of Desmond's old skin. Got your nose, Kid said as Blockbuster charged at him as Kid was the decoy. Naruto, Aqualad, Robin shouted as he showed them the pillars that needed to go. Come and get me, you incredible bulk, Kid yelled as he led Blockbuster to destroy another pillar. Kid Flash kept Blockbuster distracted while Robin quickly explained his plan to the others. He pointed out which ones need to be destroyed as Kid Flash got knocked around a bit by Blockbuster. This one, and that one, Robin said as he showed them on his holo screen which support beams needed to be broken. Naruto smashed a pillar while Aqualad used a water construct to break another on. Robin then drew a large X in the center as Aqualad laid out a water path that was part of the plan. Naruto punched Blockbuster, who was chasing Kid Flash, causing him to hit the wet ground. Aqualad then sent a strong electrical current through the water, shocking Blockbuster so much that his skeleton could be seen through his skin, and keeping him in place. Move! Robin yelled as his explosive discs were armed and went off, destroying the rest of the pillars and causing the ceiling and the entire Cadmus building to come down on them and Blockbuster. After the building stopped falling, the rubble glowed blue and was slowly levitated upward as a blue energy dome could be seen, which Naruto had generated to protect the other three. We did it, Aqualad said, tired from the fight. Was there any ever doubt? Robin said as he and Kid high-fived but grabbed their sides in pain. Naruto walked up to see Blockbuster, unconscious, under a large pile of rubble and smirked. See the moon, Kid said as Naruto saw the moon with his own eyes for the first time in 4 months. They then saw a figure flying towards them, and it was Superman. Oh, and Superman. Do we keep our promises or what? Kid asked as Naruto saw Superman for the first time. The rest of the League arrived: Red Tornado, Captain Marvel, Martian Manhunter, Zatara, Captain Atom, Hawkman, Hawkwoman, Wonder Woman, Green Lanterns Hal Jordan and John Stewart, Aquaman, Green Arrow, Black Canary, Flash and Batman. Start talking, Batman said. After telling them what happened, the League had Blockbuster arrested and some members took him to Belle Reve prison for containment. The 4 sidekicks watched as the League discussed on what they learned. Naruto looked over to see Superman talking with Wonder Woman and Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter then motioned to Superman that he needed to speak with Naruto. Superman then walked over in front of Naruto. So, what happens now? Naruto asked. We'll figure something out for you. The League will, I mean. We are somewhat at a standstill on what to do with you, but we aren't going to lock you away, since you helped the others escape Cadmus and helped us get the data of what they were working on, Superman assured him, before he gestured to the building. Plus, we want to make sure you will be using your powers correctly. I wish it were so simple, Naruto said, more to himself than Superman as he looked at his hand. After the incident that gave me my powers, all I have of my past is my name, my memories of my mother, and some scattered ones of my past. Naruto clenched his fist and looked at Superman. I only stayed down there because I thought they were helping me. Obviously, I learned that was not the case. I need help to regain my memories. I'll talk with John, we'll get a schedule set up so he can help you, Superman said as he placed a comforting hand on Naruto's shoulder, and Naruto nodded. Now I should probably go make sure that Blockbuster creature is all squared away. Superman then flew away. Batman then walked over with the rest of the League. Cadmus will be investigated, all 52 levels. But let's make one thing clear. You should have called, Flash said, interrupting Batman. End results aside, we are not happy. You hacked Justice League systems, disobeyed direct orders, and endangered lives. You will not be doing this again, Batman told them. I am sorry, but we will, Aqualad said as they all stood together. Aqualad, stand down, Aquaman said. Apologies, my king, but no. We did good work here tonight, the work you trained us to do. Together, on our own we forged something powerful, important," Aqualad said. "If this is about your treatment at the hall, the three of you, the four of us." "And it's not," Kid said. "Batman, we're ready to use what you taught us. Or why teach us at all?" Robin said. "I'm with them on this. You can either help us, or we'll do this on our own," Naruto said. It was a standoff until Batman spoke again. "Give me 3 days," Batman said. Mount Justice, July 8th, 8:04 Eastern Daylight Time. In Happy Harbor, Kid, Robin, Aqualad, and Naruto were with the League at the original sanctum for the Justice League as it was being refurbished. The 4 young heroes stood dressed in civilian clothes, with Naruto now wearing a black muscle shirt with blue jeans, brown belt, and boots. This cave was the original secret sanctuary for the Justice League. "We're calling it into service again. Since you 4 are determined to stay together and fight the good fight, you'll do it on League terms. Red Tornado volunteered to live here and be your supervisor. Black Canary's in charge of training. I will deploy you on missions," Batman said. "Real missions?" Robin asked. "Yes, but covert," Batman said. "The League will still handle the obvious stuff. There's a reason we have these big targets on our chests," Flash said. "But Cadmus proves that the bad guys are getting smarter. Batman needs a team that can operate on the sly," Aquaman said. "The 5 of you will be this team," Batman said. "Yes. Wait, 5? Robin asked. They saw Martian Manhunter enter with a young girl beside him, dressed in a female version of his costume, with red hair and green skin. The female Martian sidekick. "This is the Martian Manhunter's niece, Miss Martian," Batman said. "Hi," Miss Martian said. "Liking this gig more every minute," Wally told Robin. "Welcome aboard. I'm Kid Flash." "That's Robin, Aqualad, it's cool if you forget their names," Wally said. "I'm honored to be included," Miss Martian said. Meanwhile, Naruto looked behind him and observed the Genomorphs that were helping set the place up. Naruto had managed to convince Superman to talk to Batman to let some of the Genomorphs out of Cadmus to help take the first steps to integrating with humans. Naruto did promise XX that he would help them, after all, but he had to take it slow. Baby steps, Superman had called it. There were 5 G-Trolls, 4 G-Dwarves, 5 G-Gnomes, 4 G-Elves, and 1 G-Goblin, who would speak with XX, who decided to stay at Cadmus and help the other Genomorphs, to see how they were doing. "Naruto, come meet Miss M," Robin said as they walked over. Miss Martian then morphed her shirt into the same color and look as Naruto's. "I like your t-shirt," Miss Martian said as Naruto smiled. Robin elbowed him, and Wally zoomed over to his side. "Today is the day," Calder said as they smiled. Cadmus. Back at Cadmus, reconstruction was already underway while Guardian was talking with XX and the new head scientist about the new Cadmus. "The new Cadmus starts today. With Desmond out of the picture, the board's placed me in charge. Dr. Spence, your acting chief scientist. No more genomes suppressing our wills. No more secret breeding projects. This is a kinder, gentler Cadmus," Guardian said. "Then I will of course help in any way I can," XX said. The Light was watching the video feed of Guardian in Cadmus. "Can the Light afford to leave Guardian in charge without genomes?" L1 asked. "We have subtler means of control. What concerns me is that Project Infinity is now in the hands of League. We also now know the League is going to employ these young heroes to do their dirty work." "Ha, that's a dark twist," a member said. "Yes, but one that can be played to our advantage. Even the temporary loss of Project Infinity may prove useful. We should be thankful he does not have access to his full power," another member said as they saw the video recording of Naruto fight. "We will need to be more careful moving forward. And soon, he will return to the Light," L1 said. Welcome to Happy Harbor. July 18th, Mount Justice. Recognized, Naruto, B01 the computer said as Naruto walked through the Zeta tube, carrying several grocery bags. As he walked in, Miss Martian floated over. "Naruto," Miss Martian said as she floated over and hugged him, having not seen him all day. Naruto, though not expecting the hug, returned it, using one arm since the other was holding the groceries. "Hey again," Naruto said a bit awkwardly, since he did not know her name. Thankfully, the loss of his memories did not necessarily reflect badly on his social skills. Over the last week or so, When he wasn't speaking with Gan or hanging with Calder and the others, he was rediscovering what all he could do with his spatial manipulation powers and testing the limits of his physical abilities. He also took up reading as a hobby, since he saw this trailer for a new show called Game of Thrones. He started reading the first of the book series last week and was 9 chapters through book 1. He also started tinkering with all sorts of equipment from motorcycles to cars to weapons. His lack of memories had inspired a desire within him to learn more, which is also why he watched the History Channel. Naruto, as he looked around. Wasn't Calder here earlier? I still am, Aqualad said as he walked out. Hey man, Naruto greeted. What's in the bags? Aqualad asked. Well, I do live here, and Gan and I do have to eat, Naruto said before he said to Gan, speaking of which, we should probably get these in the fridge before they spoil. Sure, I'll help, Gan said as she used her telekinesis to lift several of the bags. They walked out as the computer made an announcement. Recognized Robin, B02, Kid Flash, B04. The computer said as the Zeta tube activated and Robin and Kid in civilian clothes walked in. Did you ask him? What did he say? Robin asked Aqualad. He's arriving now, Aqualad said. Then what are we waiting for? Kid asked as they ran to the hangar, joined by Naruto and Gan after they finished with the groceries and Gan tried out her first cookie recipe, and saw Red Tornado arrive. Red Tornado! Kid yelled as Red Tornado landed on the ground. Greetings. Is there a reason you intercept me outside the cave? Red asked. We'd hoped you had a mission for us, Aqualad asked. Mission assignments are the Batman's responsibility, Red said. But it's been over a week, and nothing. You will be tested soon enough, Red said, interrupting Robin. For the time being, simply enjoy each other's company. This team is not a social club, Aqualad said. No, but I know from experience that social interaction is an important team-building exercise. Perhaps you can keep busy by familiarizing yourself with the cave, Tornado said as he walked in. Keep busy, Kid said bitterly. Does he think we're falling for this? Robin asked indignantly. Oh, I'll find out, Gan said as she tried to telepathically read Red's mind but got nothing. I'm sorry. I forgot, he's a machine, inorganic. I cannot read his mind. Nice try though, Kid said. So, you know what I'm thinking right now? Kid asked as Naruto slapped him on the back of his head. Ow. We all know what you're thinking, horn dog. Tornado has a point. Maybe we should just get to know each other first, Naruto said. Why? Robin asked. Well, we still don't know enough about each other. I mean, Miss Martian and I have kinda been getting to know one another, but we also live here, so, Naruto said with a shrug. And now we tour the clubhouse, Aqualad said with a bit of bitterness. Gan didn't really notice, but Naruto did. Well, Naruto and I live here. We can play tour guides, Gan said. How about you handle it? Tour guide isn't really my thing, Naruto suggested. Works for me. A private tour sounds much more fun, Wally said. She never said private, Robin said. Team building. We'll all go, Aqualad said as they walked into the cave. This would be the front door, and this side would be the back door. The cave is actually the entire mountain, Gan said as she showed them around. It was hollowed out by Superman and Green Lantern in the early days of the League, Kid said. Then why abandon it for the Hall of Justice? Naruto asked. The cave's secret location was compromised, Aqualad said. So they traded it in for a tourist trap? Not really sure that makes sense, Naruto said. If the villains know about the cave, we must be on constant alert, Gan said in worry. We're hiding in plain sight. They won't think to look for us here, Robin said. Ah, that kinda makes sense, Gan said, as Naruto saw something. Hey Gan, I think there's smoke coming from the kitchen, Naruto said. Oh no! My cookies! Gan yelled as she flew towards the kitchen. She used her telekinesis to open the oven and pull the burnt cookies out of the oven. I was trying out Grammy Jones' recipe from episode 17 of never mind. Gan stammered a bit. I bet they'd have tasted great. He doesn't seem to mind, Robin said as Kid ate a cookie. I have wicked metabolism, Kid said with an awkward look. I'll make more? Gan asked uncertainly. It was sweet of you to make any, Aqualad said. Thanks, Aqualad, Gan said. We're off duty. Call me Calder HM. Actually, my friends call me Calder, Aqualad said. I'm Wally, Kid said. Megan, Gan said as Naruto looked away. He could not help but feel envious of everyone else. They had all their memories intact, while he only had his name, his memories concerning his mother, and some scattered ones. Don't worry, Naruto. I'll help you get your memories back if you want, Gan said telepathically while she started to smile. Naruto turned to look her with wide eyes and his head started to hurt. Memory. Come on, Mrs. Kushina, just a little more, the nurse coaxed by her feet. I can't, his mother cried about. Yes, you can, a man Naruto could not see encouraged. Listen to the nurses, take my hand. If I ever get out of this, I'm going to break more than your hand, husband, she swore, glaring up at the man. I'm going to break the part that got you into this predicament in the first place. The man that Naruto could not see didn't miss a beat. We can sort this out later. For now, though, you have to push. Tears sprang to Kushina's eyes. I can't, she wailed. I'm so tired. My strength is failing me. Her voice trailed off to an exhausted whimper. A man Naruto could not see leaned over and pushed her sweaty hair from her face. I know. But you're one of the strongest women I have ever known. You've never failed at anything you set out to do. This is our daughter, Kushina. You can do this. For her sake, you must. Oh, okay, she whispered, wiping her eyes with the back of her hand. I'll try. Ready? Asked the nurse. Kushina nodded. Right, then on your next contraction, push. Kushina pushed. Excellent. Now take a deep breath, and do it again. Kushina pushed once more. And one more time, it's almost out. She pushed again, her face red with effort. The moment stretched to an eternity as the infant was eased out into the world, finally slipping into the hands of the nurse. Kushina collapsed against the pillows, eyes closed, as the attending nurse announced, it's a girl. But the new mother did not open her eyes to acknowledge this. Kushina? The man's voice rose a little and he touched her arm to rouse her. Kushina, wake up. Come on, Mom. Naruto nudged her other shoulder. Don't you want to see my little sister? Mom? He frowned slightly as she would not respond, and her heartbeat would be after that moment passed that the man taught Naruto thought was his father, and Naruto would learn that his little sister was stillborn. Memory end. Robin seemed to notice what was going on as Naruto was holding his head and groaning. Miss M, what are you doing? What's wrong? I don't understand. Everyone on Mars communicates like this, Gan said, as she spoke telepathically to everyone now. Gan, stop. Things are different on Earth. Here, your powers are an extreme invasion of privacy, Aqualad said sternly. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, Megan apologized, but Naruto moved to another room, to be alone for a bit, to calm down after seeing that memory, leaving the rest of the room feeling a bit awkward. Hello, Gan. I know what we can do, she said as she floated away and the others followed, but not before she went to Naruto. Naruto, please, Megan asked. Don't take it out on her, Naruto-san, came the voice of the Jigenome who had taught Naruto Japanese. The Jigenome was crouched on the table in front of Naruto. What you're feeling right now was not caused by her. You shouldn't push her away. You're right. Thank you, Genso, Naruto responded back telepathically through their link. Naruto got up from the couch, reminding Gan that Naruto was a really tall. Before getting Thanos' DNA, Naruto was a pretty small individual, standing at about 5 feet 4 inches now. He stood 6 feet 6 inches. His shoulders and arms had the lines that Thanos once had, though he Naruto lacked Thanos' ball sack of a chin and the lines on his face, and was packed with powerful muscle. I'm sorry about that. Naruto apologized, it wasn't you. I sometimes get these memory flashes. I don't really know what triggers them. Oh, what was this one about? Gan asked hesitantly. My mother on her deathbed, Naruto said as he looked down. You don't need to say any more, if it's too much for you, Gan said compassionately as she placed a hand on his arm, but if you ever want to talk about it, I'll be here. With that, the two slowly made their way to the rest of the group. They took the elevator down to the hangar of the mountain. They saw a giant oval with red and blue colors. It's my Martian bioship, Gan said. Cute. Not aerodynamic, but cute, Kid said. It's at rest, silly. I'll wake it. Gan said as the ship morphed into a more aerodynamic and badass spaceship. She opened the ramp to the ship. Well, are you coming? They all walked in as the ship morphed. Seats appeared and the control panels came up from the ground. Strap in for launch, Gan said as they all sat down and seatbelts wrapped around them. Red Tornado, please open bay doors, Gan said as the hangar doors opened and Megan piloted the ship out of the mountain. They flew over the mountain in Happy Harbor as the ship flew smoothly. Kid tried to flirt but was acting like an idiot. A team that functions with cohesion and cooperation amongst its members can accomplish far more than each member can individually. Naruto heard a voice in his head, and he groaned as he rubbed his head, as that was from a memory he recovered a few days ago where he could not see who was talking to him, nor could he recognize who was speaking to him, but it sounded like it might be his father. Hey, how about showing us some Martian shapeshifting? Robin asked. Gan stood up as everyone watched as she turned into a female version of Robin. She then morphed into a female version of Kid Flash. Is it wrong that I think I'm hot? Kid asked. Yes, Wally. It's really creepy, Naruto said as everyone chuckled. Impressive, but you know you're not exactly gonna fool anyone with those, Robin said. Mimicking boys is a lot harder, Gan said with a bit of shame. And your clothes? Aqualad asked. They're organic like the ship. They respond to my mental commands, Gan said. Can you do that ghosting through walls thing that Manhunter does? Wally asked. Density shifting? No. It's a very advanced technique, Gan said. I've heard Wally can vibrate through walls. Apparently when he tries, he gets a bloody nose. Naruto joked and Robin laughed a bit at that. Dude, Wally said indignantly at the embarrassment. Here's something I can do. Camouflage mode, Gan said as she made the ship invisible. Red Tornado to team. An emergency alert has been triggered as the Happy Harbor power plant. I suggest you investigate covertly. I'm sending you the coordinates, Red said over the communicator. Miss Martian to Red Tornado. Coordinates received and adjusting course. Gan responded as she adjusted course. Red Tornado's keeping us busy again, Robin said with a huff. Well, a fire led you to Naruto. We should find out what caused the alert, Gan said. Pretty sure I know the cause, Naruto said as he pointed outside and they saw a tornado by the power plant parking lot. The ship was caught in the tornado but not for long as Gan steadied it and landed it in the parking lot. The team got out to see people running for cover as the tornado hit the power plant. Robin, are tornadoes common in New England? Aqualad asked as Robin disappeared. They heard him laugh as they looked around. He was just here, Gan said. I'm starting to hate it when he does that. Come on, Naruto said and they ran to the building. Inside the power plant, Robin was knocked into a pillar by the villain behind the tornadoes. It was a large robot, a red mech armor with black highlights, large blue cables attached to his body and a large ragged scarf around his neck. Who's your new friend? Naruto asked as he landed near Robin. Didn't catch his name, but he plays kind of rough, Robin said. My apologies. You may address me as Mr. Twister, the robot said as it created two mini tornadoes that Naruto slowly stomped through. Seeing this was not working, it created a tornado underneath Naruto's feet that sent Naruto flying into the far wall. Gan was a little concerned as she saw Wally put on his goggles. This was her first taste of real combat, after all. Aqualad looked at her and nodded, and she readied herself as they charged at Twister. Kid Super sped forward and did a flying kick, but Twister created a windshield that blocked him and tossed Kid outside the plant. Gan and Calder charged as they were hit with a tornado and sent flying, hitting the walls far away from Twister. I was prepared to be challenged by a superhero. I was not, however, expecting children, Twister said. Robin growled angrily and was about to throw a couple birdarangs, but a hand clasped on his shoulder. Robin looked behind him to see it was Naruto, shaking his head. Don't. He's just trying to rile you up, Naruto said. Besides, thanks to his wind powers, he's effective at long and mid-range combat, which puts most of us at a disadvantage. Getting close to him will be tough. Gan, can you hear me? Naruto broadcasted his thoughts. Yeah, I can hear you, Gan said telepathically. When I give the signal, use your telekinesis on that pipe above the robot, Naruto said telepathically. Well, it seems one of you somewhat knows what he's doing. But I am not here to play with children, Twister said as it turned to leave. You think so, huh? Naruto asked as he pulled the robot back under a large pipe with telekinesis. Now, Gan, he broadcasted telepathically. Gan heard the message and then used her telekinesis and destroyed a large pipe, causing smoke to surround Twister. Aqualad and Robin charged at Twister, but Twister created 2 mini tornadoes and slammed Aqualad and Robin into one another. Fools, they should have taken the opportunity to retreat and come up with a plan of attack. Naruto thought in annoyance at how much Robin, Aqualad, and Kid Flash were embarrassing themselves today. Fine, I'll do it myself. Naruto charged at Twister while mentally telling Gan to stay back, but unlike his male compatriots, he had a plan as he had figured out a way to get around those tornadoes. Twister sent another tornado at Naruto, though Naruto turned himself intangible and passed right through the tornado. What? Twister yelled as Naruto turned tangible again at the last second and dropkicked Twister out of the plant. Twister skidded on the ground a ways with 2-foot indents in its armor and managed to pull itself up as Naruto came down from the sky to deliver a double hammer blow that created a crater in the ground and a dust cloud to rise in the air. You are different. That team of yours could learn a thing or two from you. Too bad they won't get the chance, Twister said as Naruto climbed out of the crater. He sent Naruto flying away in a tornado back at the plant, but Gan caught him with her telekinesis. Thanks, Gan, Naruto said. Don't mention it, Gan said as the others joined them. What do you want? Aqualad said as Twister floated in the air. Isn't it obvious? I'm waiting for a real hero, Twister said. Gan, please read his mind, find his weakness, Naruto asked Gan. I thought I wasn't supposed to do that, Gan said. It's okay with the bad guys, Robin said. Gan tried to read his mind but got nothing. Nothing, I'm getting nothing. Hello, Gan. Mr. Twister is Red Tornado in disguise. He's an an android. And how many androids do you know that can generate tornadoes? Gan asked. Red Tornado sent us here, Aqualad said. After saying we'd be tested soon enough. This is his test, something to keep us busy, Robin said angrily. Speedy called it, we're a joke. This game is so over, Kid said as he, Robin, and Aqualad walked forward. I don't think so, Naruto thought as he observed with his arms crossed. Twister could not be possibly Red Tornado because, for one, Tornado's winds were colored red. Tornado flew by generating a vortex underneath him, Twister just flew. Plus, while Gan made a mistake in thinking it was Red Tornado, he was certain she was on to something. We know who you are and what you want, Robin shouted. So let's end this, Aqualad said. Consider it ended, Twister said as he sent Twisters into the sky, turning it dark and the winds to pick up. An impressive show. But we will not indulge you. We will not engage, Aqualad shouted. Lightning then began to come down from the sky as Twister channeled more and more energy. Can Red Tornado do that? Kid asked. You think I'm Tornado? That's ironic, Twister shouted as he sent down a bolt lightning. Had it hit its destination, it would have exploded in front of the team. Unfortunately for the android, a black hole opened up right in front of the bolt just as it was about to hit the ground. The bolt of lightning was then sucked into the black hole and into the void. The black hole closed to the stunned silence of the team and the simulated anger of the android. What? Impossible, Twister protested. You know, Naruto said as he took off one sleeve of his brown leather jacket, normally, when I fight, I keep the kid gloves on. I hold back because I don't know exactly how strong I am and I don't want to accidentally kill people. Naruto took off his jacket and handed it to Gan. Hold that for me, will you? He asked as he held out his jacket and Gan held it. But after what you just tried to pull, android, Naruto finished his monologue as he walked forward, the kid gloves are coming off. Twister, in response, fired an even bigger bolt. In response, Naruto snapped his fingers and opened a portal that sucked the bolt right up. Naruto opened another portal then that sent the bolt right back at Twister, who only just barely managed to dodge. Naruto clenched his fist, surrounding the android with blue energy as Naruto crushed the robot some with powerful spatial pressure, evidenced by the crushing sound and the sparks coming from the robot. Get over here! Naruto shouted as he used his powers to launch the immobile android at him. Naruto then delivered a lariat to the android's chest, sending the android flying through the air towards the beach. Naruto opened a portal to where the android was going to land and walked right through it. He arrived at Twister's location just in time to see the android hit the shore, causing an explosion of sand to fly into the air. I will not tolerate this insolence from you children any longer, Die! Twister said as he raised his hands to fire his wind cannons, only for Naruto to open a black hole beneath the android's feet. Naruto then abruptly closed the portal while the android's legs were still sinking inside with a swipe of his arm, leaving the android without the means to walk or fly. How dare you! Twister said as he tried to aim again only for his arms to be coated in blue energy as they were forced to either side. You seem very proud of these arms of yours, very attached to them. Let's see how well you do without them, Naruto said as he used his telekinesis to rip off the remaining 2 limbs of Twister. No! My arms! You will pay for this, you. Naruto did not let the android finish as he punched Twister's head clean off and into the ocean. Be quiet! Naruto growled as Kid Flash, Gan, Robin and Aqualad appeared on the shoreline. The chest of the android opened up and out dropped Broomstick, who looked at Naruto in fear. Foul, I call foul, he said weakly. Thank you, Gan, Naruto said as he took his jacket back and put it on, not seeing Gan's blush. You still getting nothing from him? Gan's eye glowed green as she tried to read Brahm's mind but like before, found nothing. Not even a little resistance, nothing. Then would you like to do the honors? Naruto offered, as they both knew what the Brahm stick in front of them really was. Gan used her telekinesis to pick up a large rock and smashed it down on Brahm's body, to the protest of Aqualad. I don't know how things are done on Mars, but on Earth, we don't execute our captives, Robin protested. Stop your protesting, Robin, Naruto said as Gan lifted the rock up with telekinesis, revealing that Brahm was another android. Brahm was obviously another android. Gan could not read his mind, because there was no mind to read. Cool. We just kicked some serious butt today, Wally announced with a grin. No, we didn't, Naruto said as he turned to face them, standing next to Gan. Gan and I are the ones who triumphed here. You 3 are acting like tagalongs that don't want to be here. What do you mean, Naruto? Aqualad asked. Come on. Did you think I didn't hear the bitterness in your voice when you said, and now we tour the clubhouse? You were being way too obvious, Naruto said. The 3 of you are mad because your pal Speedy doesn't want to hang with you. And you can be bitter about that all you want, but keep that to yourselves. Don't take it out on me and Gan. She doesn't deserve that, and neither do I. Right now, Gan and I are the only ones acting like anything resembling a team, as we actually work together on this. You, Robin, ran off without telling us. You're supposed to be part of a team now, and can't go off on your own like that. It could cost you your life when you're up against an unknown enemy. Then, you, Wally and Calder rushed Twister when it should have been obvious that we needed to come up with a plan to get close to him. Where the hell was the teamwork I saw against Blockbuster? I'm not saying that Gan didn't make her own mistakes and I didn't make mine, but they're minor compared to yours. What? Are you angry at us? Wally asked. I'm disappointed in you 3. I really am. I thought we were becoming friends. I thought you saved me from Cadmus out of the goodness of your hearts, but I'm starting to wonder if I was wrong. If it was actually for some selfish desire to prove to the League that you were worthy enough to join them by saving the abused science project, and not because you genuinely wanted to help me. Naruto said as Wally, Robin, and Calder looked down in shame a bit, as his reasoning was partially correct. Gan looked torn between whose side to really take on this, as Naruto picked up a robotic eye that was still on. Right now, there are only 2 members on this team. When you 3 want to stop acting like pouty children, let me know. Naruto crushed the robotic eye in his hands. Now, let's get this back to the cave. Mount Justice. Later. It was clearly created to sabotage or destroy you, Aqualad said as Robin was looking over the specs of the robot and Tornado looked at the remains. Indeed, Tornado said. Is that why you didn't help us? Gan asked. No. This was your battle. I do not believe it was my role to solve your problems for you. Nor should you solve mine for me, Tornado said as they all looked at him. But if you're in danger, consider this matter closed, Tornado said as he walked away. Batman, Aquaman and Flash. They'd have jumped right in to fix things, Wally said. Guess if this team is gonna have a babysitter, it would be an heartless robot, Robin quipped. I have a heart. Carbon steel alloy. I also have excellent hearing, Tornado said as he turned around. Sorry, I'll be more mindful of that in future, Robin apologized as Tornado walked away. Let's meet up tomorrow. Just the 3 of us. You, Wally, and myself, Calder suggested. Why? What's up? Wally asked. Something Naruto said. I feel we need to do some serious thinking about this team situation. We aren't a team yet, but we still can be. I think the three of us need to decide if we truly want to be. Calder said to them as they left for the Zeta tubes. Naruto sighed and looked Mian. I did not like saying that. But they have decided if they want to be a team. I'm sorry. I know you were getting closer with them this week, Gan said. Not as close as I am with you, Naruto said with a smile. And hey, if want to talk telepathically sometime, it's okay. I actually kinda like it. Naruto kind of enjoyed the way her touch felt inside his mind. Thank you, Naruto, Gan said telepathically, and they both smiled. Santa Prisca, July 19th, 043 Ecuador time. Inside the venom-producing factory on the island of Santa Prisca, a tall man wearing a black and white luchador mask walked up to the cage separating him and his men from the rest of his venom factory. It appeared as if the Santa Prisca venom facility was taken over by the cult of the Cobra, if the men in the red cloaks and masks resembling an angry snake, pointing their guns at anyone that was dressed differently were anything to go by. A Cobra agent was standing in front of a cage door that led to a closed-off part of the factory that had only one other door at the other side. Nuestro maestro sublime proclama que partira esta instalación si uno de vosotros, derrota a su campeón en combate singular. Our sublime master proclaims he will depart this facility if one of you defeats his champion in single combat, proclaimed the Cobra agent. The masked luchador stepped forward, past his men, and walked to the cage door. Solo KC interesante. Just make it interesting, he said as he opened the cage door and walked in. As he stepped across the threshold, he saw two people on opposite sides of the room, one girl and the other, a scrawny boy, both with orange hair. The weak boy entered the arena and moved the hair away from his eyes with an arrogant smirk on his face. Bane's attention was pulled from the kid to a sound of something falling next to his feet. He looked down and picked up the object. It was the same device that he used to administer the venom to increase his strength. Bane turned towards the Cobra agent that stood behind the gate he just walked past. Usted me diera mi ultima arma, QL ESL truco. You would give me my ultimate weapon, what's the catch? Asked Bane as he put the device on his left arm and connected the tube on the back of his skull. Sin capturas difícilmente podría probar la destreza de su campeón si no estaban en su mejor momento. No catch, it would hardly test his champion's prowess if you weren't at your best, said the Cobra cultist. As the venom started flowing along the tube and reached Bane's skull, he spoke. ¿Quieres mi mejor? You want my best? He then started to transform as his pupils dilated, muscles bulged, veins appeared on his arms, and he began to grow larger. He turned towards his opponent. Lo tiens, you got it. At the other end of the arena, the scrawny boy was approached by his sister, and she injected him with some sort of serum. Then she walked back out and closed the cage. The boy started to trash around, clutching his head as whatever the drug was, it appeared to hurt a lot. He fell to his knees and started to transform, his back bulging out, and he started to scream, his voice getting deeper. His teeth sharpened and become more animal-like, his skin turned gray and started to come apart, on some parts of his body exposing the naked red muscles that lay beneath. His tank top got destroyed as he grew larger and became more beast than man. Bane and the beast began their brawl. While at first Bane appeared to have an advantage, as he has more fighting experience and was able to defend and attack, that all ended when Bane went for a strike to the beast's chest, and it did nothing. The beast smirked and started to strike Bane on the head, and then struck him in the stomach, making Bane spit out some saliva. As Bane was about to fall back, he was stopped by the beast grabbing his right arm and throwing him against some pipes, loosening the joints as a bit of smoke started pouring out. The beast did not allow Bane to regain his breath as it quickly sped towards the downed drug dealer and slammed him into the pipes once again, cracking them, releasing a large cloud of smoke. The monster then picked up the downed Bane and threw him out of the smoke screen and jumped after him. It then used the momentum of its fall to strike a devastating blow to Bane's head, even going so far to destroy the stone ground that lay beneath them. Bane tried to get up, but he was unable to win the fight against unconsciousness. With Bane defeated, the monster moved away from its downed foe, and when the other cultists saw this they slowly started to chant. Hail Cobra! Hail Cobra! Hail Cobra! As the chanting got louder, a man with pale white skin and a red cloak, with a hood shaped like a cobra's head, could be seen smirking in the rafters above. Hail Cobra! Gotham City, July 22th, 1300 hours Ecuador time. Naruto was walking down the park of Gotham City with Mgan. The city was alight with activity as people were heading off to lunch, late for meetings, or teenagers hanging out and enjoying their summer break. Naruto was here sightseeing with Gan. Wow, so this is what a city is like, Gan said excitedly as she was in her shape-shifted form to look completely human. Yeah, but don't let the majesty of the daylight fool you. Gotham is home to some of the most depraved criminals on the planet, and they tend to come out when darkness falls. And that's just the grunts. The rogues are said to be even worse, Naruto said with a smile. I understand that, but surely it's not all bad in Gotham, Gan said with a naivety to be expected from the newest inhabitant of Earth. Well, it is not all bad, Naruto said with a smile as he looked directly at her, and Gan blushed. It was then that something caught Naruto's eye in the park. Gan followed his sight to see a beautiful woman surrounded by 2 guards. The woman had brown hair, green eyes, stood 5 feet 8 inches, and had fair skin. Naruto said as he looked at the woman walking in the opposite direction with her guards. Everything okay, Naruto? Gan asked telepathically. I don't know why, but I just can't help but feel like I've met that woman, Naruto responded. So, Vandal's son is exploring the world he does not remember, Talia al Ghul thought as she walked away. Regardless, capturing him would be a wasted effort on my part, and I am not here for him anyhow. Mount Justice, July 22, 1530 Ecuador time. Recognized, Naruto, B01. Miss Martian, B05 the computer said as Naruto and Gan walked out of the Zeta tube and saw Batman and Red Tornado there. Batman? Is there something going on? Naruto asked. A mission, Batman said as Naruto raised an eyebrow and Gan was excited. Do you really believe this team is ready? Naruto asked. They didn't even have Bloody Leader yet. Possibly, which is why this will be a covert recon mission. The team is assembling, I'll explain the rest, Batman said as the other 3 walked in. Isla Santa Prisca. This island nation is the primary source of a dangerous and illegal neosteroid, a strength-enhancing drug sold under the street name Venom, Batman said. What's Bane up to? Robin asked. We're not sure. Infrared heat signatures indicate their factory is still operating at full capacity, but all shipments of Venom have been inexplicably cut off. We need to find out what Bane is up to, and this is where the team comes in. This is a covert recon mission only. Observe and report. If the Justice League needs to intervene, it will. The plan requires 2 drop zones, Batman said as he showed them on the holomap. So who's in charge? Robin asked, eager to be leader. Batman and Red Tornado exchanged glances. Work that out between you, Batman said as Robin nodded and smirked. It seemed he had already made up his mind that he was going to be the leader. Well, that's a fucking recipe for disaster, Naruto thought sarcastically. He wasn't sure what exactly was going through Batman's head right now. He had to know that Robin so far had not displayed the maturity needed from a leader. The only 2 people qualified to lead the team right now were Aqualad and maybe Naruto himself. Naruto was not sure he wanted to be leader. Sure, he worked well with Gan, but that was different. They were friends, they lived together, spent some of their free time together. Get suited up and prepared to head out, Batman said as they all nodded and got suited up, boarded the bioship and flew to the island. Isla Santa Prisca, July 22, 2008 Ecuador time. Approaching Isla Santa Prisca. Drop zone A in 30. Gan said as Aqualad stood up from his seat and changed his suit to stealth mode. Ready, Aqualad said. Putting bioship in camouflage mode, Gan said as the ship became cloaked and flew closer to the water. Gan then opened a hole as Aqualad dove down into the water and swam to the island, past water mines and a large net. He then made it to the beach and quickly went over to one of the motion sensor computers and placed a loop device. Heat and motion sensors are patched. Data is now on a continuous loop. You can move in, Aqualad said. The bioship then kept flying until it reached the second drop zone. Drop zone B, Gan said as everyone stood up and got ready. Gan created pulley hooks as Robin hooked one on his belt and Kid hooked the second on his. Kid then activated his stealth suit by pressing the flash emblem on his suit. How cool is this? Kid asked. Very impressive, Gan said as she then morphed from her regular Ms. Martian outfit into a full-body stealth version complete with a hood. That works too, Kid said as he then looked at Naruto. Hey Naruto, not too late to put on the new stealth tech. No tights, no capes, no thanks, Naruto said before he gestured to the outfit he was wearing. Naruto's superhero outfit is the outfit Thanos wears for the rest of Avengers Infinity War after he gets the Space Stone. It totally works for you, Gan said as she looked at Naruto, and then realized what she said. In that you can totally do good work in those clothes. Gan then placed her hood on and camouflaged herself to hide her embarrassment, while Naruto smiled as she opened up a hole in the ship and they all descended to Santa Prisca. Robin and Kid Flash used the lines while Gan floated down. Naruto used a line as well, since jumping would have caused a seismic event that could have alerted the enemy to their position. Naruto tapped his earpiece to contact Aqualad. Aqualad, drop Zone B as a go. Head for the factory. I'll track your GPS and rendezvous ASAP. Aqualad said. Roger that. Robin said as they all began to stealthily make their way to the factory. Robin was anxious and took point, using his holomap to scan for mines or bad guys. As they made their way to the factory, Naruto heard a twig snap. There is something up ahead, Naruto stated as Kid and Gan stopped. Is this a super hearing thing? Kid asked. You do have great ears, Gan said dreamily, but Naruto paid it no mind. Sadly, now was not the time the flirting. Robin, how far? Kid said as he turned to see Robin gone. Man, I hate it when he does that. Switch to infrared. See if you're being tracked, Aqualad recommended as Kid put his goggles on. Got a squad of armed bozos incoming, Kid said as he saw it. Naruto's eyesight improved as he saw another squad through the trees. 2 squads. But they'll meet each other before they meet us, Naruto said. Then they heard the sound of gunfire and shouting as the 2 squads fought against each other. No super hearing required now, Kid said. Swing wide, steer clear, Aqualad told them. Yeah, just as soon as I find Rob, Kid said as he ran away. Kid, wait! Naruto shouted, but Kid ran. Naruto tapped his earpiece as he saw that Kid just blew their cover. Aqualad, we have a problem. Kid just fell in between the 2 groups. We need to go in and save his sorry, but I'll handle Bane. You and Miss M make sure none of the goons escape. Kid managed to get back to his feet and ran fast enough to avoid the bullets. Naruto attacked the luchador mask-wearing man that was Bane and tackled him to the ground. However, the luchador was able to get free from the hold, and he twisted Naruto's arm behind his back and started to put pressure on it with the intention of breaking it. The luchador was, however, not prepared for Naruto's superior strength. Thus, the amnesiac was able to get out of the hold and punch the man into a tree, knocking the man into unconsciousness. Naruto then charged into the fray and began to fight against the goons in the red capes. He grabbed one guy and threw him into a tree as the bullets just bounced off his skin. He then ran forward and punched 2 goons in the face. Gan then hovered above and used her telekinesis to gather up the guns. Robin jumped down from the trees and kicked 2 goons to the ground. What is wrong with you guys? Remember covert? Why didn't you follow my lead, vanish into the jungle? Robin yelled, sounding angry as he thought that his plan was the simplest to understand, while Kid took out another goon. That's what you were doing. Way to fill us in. We're not mind readers, you know, Kid said as Gan sent 2 goons flying with a telekinetic blast. I'm not anyway. You told me I could only read the bad guys' minds, Gan said. Robin then saw 2 goons try to run and prepared to throw a birdarang, but Naruto jumped in front of one and knocked him out with a solid punch to the face, while Aqualad used his electric water bearer's power to shock the other goon and knock him out. A few minutes later, they tied up the bad guys against the trees as Robin spoke. I recognize those uniforms. They belong to the cult of the Cobra, Robin said. I am certain Batman would have mentioned it if he knew a dangerous extremist group was running Santa Prisca's Venom operation, Aqualad said. Agreed. And since there's clearly no love lost between the cultists and those goons, I'm betting Cobra came in and tossed them out, Robin said. That's why normal supply lines have been cut off. We get it. Cobra wanted super cultists. Mystery solved. Radio bats, and we'll be home in time for dinner, Kid said. He was interrupted by Robin. These cultists aren't on Venom. Cobra's hoarding the stuff. The boy wonder talked as if he was the leader of the group. We don't leave not until I know why. Until you know why? Kid asked angrily. This team needs a leader, Robin pointed out. And it's you? Dude, you're a 13-year-old kid who ducked out on us without a word, Kid said, knowing Robin was not ready. And you're a mature 15? You blew our cover the first chance you got. Robin laughed sarcastically as he and Kid kept arguing while the others didn't really know what to do. Don't you want to lead? Gen asked Naruto. Not really. You? Naruto asked. After the Mr. Twister incident? Gan asked. You did fine, Naruto said as Gan blushed. Besides, Calder's perfect for the job. Think you can get them to stop arguing? Gan looked at each other, and Calder smiled. I'm flattered, my friend, but I believe you have it backwards, Calder said to Naruto. Wait, me? You two want me to lead? Naruto asked. I believe you are the best option, Naruto. Out of all of us, you are the only one who understands how a team should work, Calder said. You said it yourself, this is a team. We need the right guy to lead us, Gan said as Naruto looked down in thought but then heard Bane and his goon talking Spanish. Look at them argue. Free yourself and take them while they're distracted, a goon said. Quiet. For now I play along. They'll give me what I need, Bane said. Naruto turned to Aqualad. Keep an eye on the Lucador, Naruto said as Aqualad nodded. Yeah? You don't even have any superpowers, Kid said. Neither does Batman, Robin replied. Duh, you're not Batman, Kid said. Duh, closest thing we've got, Robin said as Naruto had enough of their arguing. He walked up to them and bonked their heads together. Oh! They shouted. Neither of you two numbskulls are qualified to be our leader, so quitting wasting our time arguing about it, Naruto said as he walked around the tree and saw Bane. Such clever niños. But you only know half the story. He spoke with an arrogant smirk on his face. Let me show you the rest, get you into the factory via my secret entrance. Miss Martian moved closer and then kneeled to the eye level of the Lucador. There is a secret entrance, but he's also hiding something. Chica, spoke the Lucador as he looked at her with the same arrogant smirk as before. Bane is not that easy. As Miss Martian looked into his mind, trying to extract the information, she was suddenly stopped, could not get past the stupid mental block Bane put up. Oh. He's mentally reciting football scores in Espanol. This could take a while. And I don't have the experience to force my way through, Gan said in frustration. Gan, if I knock him out, will you be able to find what we need? Naruto asked mentally. That should work. He has to be conscious to block me the way he is doing, Gan said mentally. It's not complicated, said Bane as he looked at the other heroes. The enemy of my enemy is my FR. That was all Bane got out before he was knocked out by Naruto with a punch to the face. I'm not that gullible, Naruto said as he cracked his knuckles. You should be able to read his mind now, Gan. Gan went back to sifting through Bane's mind, now without any mental blocks hindering her. What was that? He could have gotten us inside the factory secretly, Robin angrily told Naruto. You're an idiot. Naruto insulted Robin as he looked down at Robin with a critical eye, making the 13-year-old vigilante feel very small. This is the same man who outsmarted and wore out your mentor 5 years ago before he attacked Batman in his cave and broke his spine. Bane wouldn't help us if he didn't have an ulterior motive. You'd have to be insane to think we can work with him. I know where the entrance is. And I know how to get inside, Gan announced as she found what they needed from Bane. Back in Gotham. We can't keep doing this, Talia. It's not right, Bruce Wayne said as he finished dressing in his outfit. Really, because it certainly feels right. The first time. And the second. Definitely the third, Talia argued as she zipped up her own outfit. I don't wish to hurt you, Talia, and nothing will ever make me want to. But we can never be together, not so long as you blindly serve your father. Talia gained an angry look as she crossed her arms underneath her breasts. This again. You cannot expect me to choose one of you and betray the other, Talia said. I'm not. The fact that you think of it as a choice tells me all I need to know, Batman said as he pulled up his cowl and Talia looked at him in shock. Beloved, wait. Don't do this to us. Please. Talia begged Batman, but he would not hear it. No, Talia. This has to end. I'm sorry, I truly am. With his final words, Batman engaged his grappling hook and disappeared into the night, leaving Talia alone, crying her heart out. Santa Prisca. Venom Factory. In the factory, the cult followers of Cobra were making more of the new drug. Watching over them, in the higher platforms, was the leader of the little cult, Cobra himself. He was approached by one of his loyal followers. Sublime Master, he approaches, said the cult member as he bowed to the person they all worshipped as a god. The leader looked at his subordinate, nodded, and spoke in a monotone voice. Activate the radio jamming net, nothing must interfere with the team. Gan then led them to a cliff overlooking the factory as Robin and Kid took a look at what was going in the factory. Cobra cultists were moving large containers of venom onto the landing pad, obviously awaiting transport. Look at all that product. A buy is going down, Robin said. But if Cobra is not selling to the usual suspects, then we need to identify that buyer, Aqualad said. Just what I was thinking, Kid said. Yeah, you're the thinker, Robin joked. Sarcasm? Dude. A real leader would focus on getting answers, Kid said. Naruto tried to use his radio comm but got static. They've jammed our comms. Cobra doesn't want anyone interfering with this buy, Naruto said. Naruto, it's right here, Gan said as she pointed to a large boulder covering an old tunnel. Naruto punched a large stone blocking Bane's secret entrance aside. This way, Naruto said as he entered and Gan followed him, followed by Aqualad, joined last by KF and Robin. They walked down the corridor until they came to a locked door with a thumbprint scanner. Robin was able to hack it, and they were in Bane's venom factory. Naruto and Robin peeked through the door to check for people, but no one was there. All clear, Robin said as he was about to run, but Naruto grabbed his cape. Hey, Robin said. Oh no, you don't. The next time you disappear, I'm tying both you and KF together, Naruto said. Hey, Kid said. All right, we need a plan before we all go in there, Naruto said. And I suppose you should be the leader? Kid asked. If I did, it would certainly be better than either of you running the show. Robin has a bad habit of disappearing and leaving the team in the dust, and you, KF, blew our cover with your stupidity. We need to stay focused on our mission, and we need a leader that is mature enough to handle the responsibility, Naruto said. I should be the leader, Robin protested. No, Robin, you shouldn't. While you do have the most experience fighting crime, you know your role when you're with Batman. You both know exactly what to do and never need to talk. But this team is fresh. Our leader needs to be someone who is clear, concise, and doesn't disappear willy-nilly and expect everyone else to play parts they weren't told about, Naruto said. So what? I'm supposed to hold everyone's hands? Robin asked angrily. Yes, that's part of the job description, Naruto said harshly, and it's not just that. You see the position of leader as your right, while he sees it as a prize, either of you really understanding that the position of leader is a burden. You're responsible for making the hard decisions, responsible for completing the mission and getting your team members home safe, and if anything goes wrong or a member of your team dies, it's on you. You really think the two of you are ready for that responsibility? You can't even keep your cool around the bloody robot, Naruto said with his arms crossed. Robin groaned then, as he realized Naruto was right. Oh, who am I kidding? You should be the leader, Naruto. You're the only one who can. Please. I can run circles around him, Kid said. Wally, come on. You know he's the one. We all do. He's the only one of us who really gets it, Robin said. Hello, Megan. It's so obvious, Gan said. Indeed, Calder said. Okay, Kid conceded. Fine. I wasn't really auditioning for the role, but I will accept it nonetheless, Naruto said as Robin nodded. So, what's the plan? Aqualad asked. With our comms down, we can't call in the League, which means it's up to us to stop this buy. Rob and Kid, go find the mainframe and figure out what's going on, Naruto said. Got it, Robin said. Gan, camouflage yourself and be our eyes in the sky, Naruto said. Right, Gan said. The rest of us will wait until we know more, and then we will make our move. Gan, link us up, Naruto said as Gan activated the mental link and they all did their jobs. A few minutes later, Aqualad and Naruto made their way to the edge of the warehouse and saw the cultists moving all of the new venom outside for the buyer. It's a massive shipment, Aqualad said. Yeah, but they're only taking new product off the line. They're not touching the old venom, Naruto said, looking at the crates they were hiding behind. Naruto then heard the helicopter in the distance. Ms. Martian, incoming helicopter. Stay cloaked and send a telepathic image of the buyer to myself and Aqualad when he arrives, Naruto said in the mental link. Got it, Gan said. Robin, Kid, anything yet on what Cobra's doing? Naruto asked. Yeah, we got something. These cultist guys got their hands on the blockbuster formula from Cadmus. They mixed it with venom to make a new Super Cobra Venom. It's 3 times stronger, and the changes are permanent, Robin said. I'm guessing that guy with the broken skin was exposed to it, Naruto said as they looked at one large mammoth-looking dude next to a girl that Naruto recognized as Shimmer for reading up on villains. But how did Cobra get access to Project Blockbuster? Aqualad asked. Our mystery buyer is probably Cobra's supplier, using the cult to make a Blockbuster Venom super formula. But for what? Robin asked. Doesn't really matter, it's not leaving the island. Robin, grab all the data you can and then erase the entire mainframe. Then meet back with us, Naruto said. Right, Robin said as he hacked away. Naruto, I'm sending you and Aqualad a telepathic image of the buyer now, Gan said as she sent the image and Aqualad recognized. Sportsmaster is the buyer, and the woman with him is Devastation. She is an enemy of Wonder Woman. She's very strong, Aqualad informed him. Alright, here's the plan. Kid, when you're done with Robin, place some C4 around the factory, and then handle the cultists. Robin, take out Shimmer and keep Cobra distracted. Aqualad, deal with Sportsmaster. Ms. M, stay cloaked and help Aqualad with Sportsmaster and the goons. Leave the cultists on the left, as well as that mammoth creature and Devastation to me. Everyone got that? Naruto asked as they all said yes. Wait for my signal, Naruto said. Back outside, Sportsmaster was talking with Cobra about their new Cobra Venom. The shipment is ready, Cobra said as Shimmer came forth and opened up a box that held 5 of the original vials of Cobra Venom. The new Cobra Venom? Sportsmaster asked. A complete success. Our friends will not be disappointed, Lord Cobra said. This is a game changer. Finally, we can go mano a mano with the Justice League, Sportsmaster said. The cultists then began to move the new Cobra Venom onto the chopper as Sportsmaster was in a hurry to leave before something bad happened. Too bad, something bad was about to happen. Naruto used his powers and created portals underneath the cultists on the left and on the inside, sending them into cells at Belle Reve. Kid, go! Naruto said as Kid super sped onto the landing pad and one-shot some of the Cobra cultists, knocking them out and before grabbing some C4 and then running inside of the warehouse to plant the bombs. Robin and Aqualad then began to take out some of the cultists in the warehouse while making their way to their targets. Take the shipment, Cobra shouted as Sportsmaster made his way to the helicopter, while the cultists opened fire on Kid Flash after he finished planting bombs and raced back outside to take out the other cultists. Naruto then opened a portal at the pad and sent out a telekinetic blast that sent some goons flying away. Mammoth then saw Naruto and growled. Care to go around? Naruto asked as Mammoth roared and charged at Naruto and punched Naruto, but it had no noticeable effect. Naruto smirked and drove his fist deep into Mammoth's gut, causing the monster to roar in pain, before socked Mammoth in the face twice and then chopped the behemoth in the neck, knocking him out. And here I was worried for nothing, Naruto quipped. Naruto was then about to smash the chopper to bits, but Sportsmaster then stepped out from behind the chopper and fired an energy rifle at Naruto. It didn't hurt him, but it did annoy him. Naruto raised his hand and surrounded Sportsmaster with blue energy, before he threw Sportsmaster into the fray near Aqualad. Oh no you don't! Shouted Devastation as she charged Naruto. Naruto dodged her punch and kicked her away before he gripped the chopper by the tail and jumped into the air, before slamming it on top of Devastation, causing it to explode, destroying every vial of Cobra Venom, except the one that Sportsmaster had on his person. Sportsmaster recovered from being thrown around by Naruto just in time to get bashed in the face by Aqualad's water flail. He pulled out one of his javelins as he avoided a couple of swipes from Aqualad and the two began to trade blows. Meanwhile, Miss M took out some of the goons with her telekinesis. Kid and Aqualad kept fighting against the cultists, taking them out as Kid punched out one and took his mask. Cool souvenir, Kid said as he kept running. Shimmer was the caught in Ebola and a kick from Robin knocked her out. I know you don't like to get your hands dirty, Robin said. True, Cobra said as the then took off his cloak. But sometimes, even a god must stoop to conquer. Robin grinned and kicked at Cobra, but Cobra blocked the attack without moving from his position. Robin tried again, but Cobra blocked it again, and this time kicked Robin back. Robin growled as Cobra asked mockingly, "What's wrong, boy? You look disconcerted." Sportsmaster was really angry when he saw the helicopter explode on top of Devastation, and was glad he had saved that extra vial, but now he needed to clear a path and get away to give it to the light. He hit Aqualad with a lariat before turning around and pulling out a heavy metal ball attached to a cord and handle. He spun it and brought down on Aqualad, but Aqualad rolled out of the way. He swung it again, and this time it might have hit Aqualad, had Miss M not used telekinesis to reflect the metal ball back at Sportsmaster, causing it to hit him in the face. His mask protected him from suffering serious damage, but he was seriously dazed. This gave Aqualad the opportunity to wrap him up with 2 water tentacles attached to his water bearers, before sending a powerful electric shock across them, the power of the shock further amplified by the steel mask and arm guard Sportsmaster wore, causing him to shout in pain before he was knocked out. The last of the goons were finished and rounded up by Kid Flash as Aqualad and Miss M looked to Naruto and Robin. "Kid, looks like Robin needs a hand," Aqualad said. "On it," KF said as he sped towards his best friend. Devastation pulled herself from the burning wreckage and growled as their way off the island was now gone. "You're gonna pay for that, you brat." "Well, don't keep me waiting." Naruto taunted in front of her and Devastation roared and shoulder tackled him, though Naruto back-rolled to his feet as he hit the ground. Devastation punched him in the face, then again hit Naruto with a double hammer blow, causing spit to fly from his mouth. She then wrapped her hands around his neck and shocked him. "You think you take me, punk? I've gone toe-to-toe with Wonder Woman," Devastation shouted at him. "He needs help," Aqualad said as he was about to go in and help Naruto, but Gan held him back. "No, wait. He says that he wants to have his fun," Gan said as she rubbed her head. She looked at Calder and spoke, "He's toying with her." "You think that makes you special?" Naruto mocked. Naruto gripped both of Devastation's wrists with both hands, and then slowly began to pull. He slowly removes her hands from his neck, standing up again. Devastation looks at her arms in confusion, growling. "There's like 100 people in the world who can claim that," Naruto said and grins eagerly, forcing Devastation backwards as he holds both of her arms apart, standing to his full height. Devastation's expression turns from one of confusion to mild fear. Naruto then throws her arms to the side and delivers a swift and powerful punch to Devastation's jaw with his right fist. Devastation yelps in pain and stumbles back, holding her jaw while Naruto took a step forward. Devastation tries to throw a punch, but Naruto blocks her attack and then sidesteps the muscle-bound female, delivering 2 swift counter jabs to her face. Devastation grunts and swings again, but Naruto ducked under the strike and punched her in the back. He advances, blocking another punch from Devastation, and delivers several swift jabs and punches to Devastation's face and gut. He punches her in the face and grabs her shoulder, and knees her in the face, and then picks her up. Naruto took a few steps forwards before slamming Devastation into the ground, breaking the ground. With that, Devastation is unconscious and out of the fight. Naruto then hit the switch on the bombs and blew up the factory. Cobra looked at the disaster that was brought onto him by these children as he stood on Robin while Kid Flash lay to the side, holding his broken ankle, courtesy of Cobra. "I am plagued by mosquitoes," Cobra shouted. "Good, 'cause this mosquito is mighty concerted over your pain," Robin shouted as he flipped back and was joined by Aqualad and Miss M. Cobra saw that he was outmatched and needed to retreat. "Another time then," Cobra said, but then felt someone tapped his shoulder and turned to see Naruto step out of a portal. Cobra then received a hard right cross and was knocked out as Naruto then tied up Cobra. "There is no next time," Naruto said as he placed Cobra with his goons. Everyone smiled as they saw they defeated the bad guys. "We picked the right guy to lead, automatically making you the right guy to explain this mess to Batman," Robin said as he laughed, and Naruto glared at him. Mount Justice, July 23, 10:14 Eastern Daylight Time. "A simple recon mission. Observe and report," Batman said to Naruto's face as he and the team were in the main hall of the cave in their civilian clothes. "Cobra had our comms jammed, and if we had tried to destroy the radio jammer, it would have exposed our position. So we decided to neutralize Bane and his Venom Factory operations, the cultists, and stop that shipment. On the plus side, Cobra, his cult, Bane's men, Sportsmaster, and Devastation are getting comfy at Belle Reve, and Bane won't be able to run his destroyed Venom Factory from his old cell at Arkham," Naruto said, defending his team and their actions. "You'll each be given a written report detailing your mistakes. But until then, good job," Batman said, which caught them off guard. "No battle plan survives first contact with the enemy. How you adjust to unforeseen circumstances is what determines success. And how you choose who leads determines character," Batman said. Unknown room. In an unknown location, the Light was having a meeting. "Sportsmaster, as well as Devastation, Bane and Cobra have all been captured," L5 said. "It is unfortunate that none of the Cobra venom could be recovered. We will have to use our sleeper agent to get the formula that Batman is likely reverse engineering at this very moment. Light 6 said. First Katniss, then Mr. Twister. Now Santa Prisca. L3 said. Once is happenstance. Twice is coincidence. But 3 times is enemy action, and enemies of the light will not stand. L1 said. Young Naruto is starting to regain his former power. We need to protect our operations. But we can't afford to waste our heavy hitters either. L4 said. Indeed. There are options being developed to lessen the threat he possesses. But he will be brought back into the light, or be taken off the board completely. L1 said. New York, July 27th. Naruto stood on the top of maximum security prison as he watched a giant red-haired woman crash through a building. Stryker Island was no bel reve, but it was a close second. His eyes watched as Wonder Woman flew to levitate in front of the downed woman. Wonder Woman has her Justice League war appearance. Come on, Giganta. Wonder Woman admonished, and the gigantic woman glared up at her. How long are you going to be Grodd's errand girl? As long as he needs me. The giant red-haired woman returned to the Amazon. Every time we fight, I always win. What makes you think this time will be any different? Wonder Woman questioned Giganta as the woman smirked up at her. Because this time I brought some help. With those words, Naruto's eyes narrowed as a chalky white figure dressed in an outfit similar to Superman sailed through the air. Bizarro's here to save the day. The figure sang in a less than perfect voice before his fists crashed into the Amazon. Wonder Woman flew backwards into the earth, causing a large dust cloud to rise. As she rose to her feet, her eyes took in Bizarro and Giganta grinning before her. Their attention was taken from Wonder Woman as some of the security guards fired their weapons at the 2 villains. It did not affect them, but it did annoy them. Giganta smashed the tower the guards were on, causing it to break, and it would have killed the guards as they would have been crushed by the debris, and Naruto not secretly opened portals to get them to safety. The guards now dealt with, Giganta saw the cell block her beloved ape boyfriend was in. She overstomped to free him, when a portal opened up between her and the cell block and out walked Naruto. Get out of the way, Tiny, Giganta demanded of Naruto. Naruto shrugged and opened a small portal to his right side, and Giganta thought he was pulling out a weapon. But it was no weapon that Naruto pulled out. No, it was a magnificent and complex read. It was the second book of GRRM's A Song of Ice and Fire series. It was a Clash of Kings. Naruto opened up the book to where his bookmarker was and began reading. He got through 2 sentences before Giganta's voice was heard. What are you doing? She should be trying to free Grodd, but it was just bizarre. Normally, heroes would try to stop her, but he was just reading. What does it look like? I'm reading, Naruto said, not even looking at her as he moved to the next page. I can see that. I mean, why are you reading right now? Aren't you supposed to be, trying to stop me? Giganta said, still stunned at the young hero's audacity. Don't let it bother you. With your weak attacks, it doesn't really matter if I'm reading or whatever, Naruto said as he flipped a page. His nonchalant response angered Giganta enough that she decided to teach this arrogant hero a lesson. She raised her foot high and stomped down hard, destroying the pavement and creating a crater. She smirked as the arrogant hero was now pasted underneath her heel. Or at least he should be. Instead of red paste, she felt resistance. Like I said, Naruto's came as he forced her foot up with one hand while still reading his book. It really doesn't matter. Naruto forced her off of him with his superior strength, causing her to fall backwards. Naruto then opened a portal right next to her face and quickly entered it, appearing in mid-air right next to Giganta's face as he socked her with a right hook, knocking her out. Naruto landed on his feet and reopened his book as Giganta returned to normal size and the guards came forward with the inhibitor collar. Damn, lost my page, Naruto complained. Back with Wonder Woman. Enough, Bizarro. Can't you see Giganta's just using you? The Amazonian tried to reason with the reasonless Kryptonian clone. It was amazing that she did. Maybe she felt some sympathy for the poor demented creature. But it was for naught. Bizarro stared at her before plowing into her abdomen, sending her skidding away. Bizarro's attention was then turned to Giganta, who had fallen unconscious and returned to normal size, complete with a power-inhibiting collar. Naruto stood in front of her, reading. Yes, Bizarro cried out in fury. Given he was a twisted, malformed version of Superman, everything he typically said was actually opposite of what he meant. He sped forward and punched Naruto. Naruto sailed through the air before crashing into the ground. Bizarro landed near Naruto. Boy made Bizarro succeed his love. Boy will live for that. The Superman clone cried out towards Naruto, meaning to kill Naruto. Naruto cracked his neck a couple times and spit out some blood. That actually hurt, Naruto said in wonderment. So, this is how much I can handle right now. Bizarro tilted his head at Naruto in confusion before shooting forwards, attempting to slam into Naruto again. The redhead sidestepped the insane creature, driving his fist into Bizarro's gut, causing the monster to gasp as he was blown through a wall of the prison. Damn it, I need to get him away from here, else our fight will unleash the prisoners, Naruto thought. He closed the book he was holding and opened a portal to toss it back into his room at the cave. Guess I won't be able to read with this one. Bizarro shook the cobwebs out of his head and flew at Naruto, throwing a wild punch to take Naruto's head off. Naruto ducked and weaved, delivering 2 harsh jabs to the monster's face. Bizarro swiped at him twice more before Naruto caught the second punch by Bizarro's wrist, twisted and threw Bizarro over his shoulder, slamming him into the ground, before slamming his free fist into Bizarro's face, kicking up a plume of dust. Naruto then opened a portal and threw Bizarro through, before jumping through a different one himself. Batman, Wonder Woman said as she tapped her earpiece. Go, Diana, Batman told her. Naruto just threw Bizarro through one of his portals. I need to know where he's going to come out of it, Wonder Woman said. Diana knew Naruto was strong, but she wasn't sure he could handle Bizarro on his own. He needed Kansas. The stormy portal opened up within the cornfields of Kansas State. As Bizarro came out of the portal, Naruto appeared him and delivered a double hammer blow, slamming Bizarro's face into the ground. Bizarro was quickly back on his feet, dodging a few punches thrown by his red-haired adversary. Not bad, Naruto spoke as he lashed out with a vicious straight kick to Bizarro's jaw before pivoting and driving his fist into Bizarro's stomach. But not good enough. The villainous Superman would be stumbled backwards from the blow as Naruto rushed forwards, his elbow plowing into his enemy's abdomen. Bizarro tried to recover and punch Naruto, but Naruto caught the arm and used Bizarro's momentum to throw him into the dirt, before punching him in the face, creating a crater. Bizarro released a cry of rage and punched Naruto, sending him rolling across the ground. Lasers shot from the creature's eyes, plowing into Naruto's back. The red grit his teeth painfully. Swinging around, the back of Naruto's hand collided with his enemy's skull. The clone stumbled backwards before a fist slammed into Naruto's chin. The amnesiac stumbled backwards from the blow as Bizarro made to slam into him again. On pure reflex, Naruto launched himself into the air, rolling over his enemy's caped back. Naruto's arm latched around Bizarro's neck and threw him into the air just as Diana came speeding through the air and slammed into Bizarro, sending him skidding nearly a mile. Need a hand? Diana asked. Naruto sighed as Bizarro was giving him trouble. I certainly wouldn't be opposed to help. I don't suppose you have a way of subduing him more quickly. I do, Wonder Woman said as she showed him an inhibitor collar. Once this is on his neck, it will prevent him from using any of his powers. Well then, we best not waste any more time, Naruto said as he stepped and entered a Muay Thai stance. Naruto blocked a viscous swing from the speeding Bizarro and drove his fist into Bizarro's stomach. The monster gasped and threw several wild swings at Naruto, though Naruto ducked and weaved through them before delivering 3 counter jabs to Bizarro's face. Naruto then delivered 2 straight kicks to Bizarro's jaw before delivering a roundhouse kick to Bizarro's face, sending the creature skidding across the ground. Bizarro got back up and rushed at Naruto, only for Naruto to turn intangible and allow Bizarro to pass through him. Bizarro was then kicked in the back by Naruto as he turned tangible again. Wonder Woman pulled out her lasso and wrapped it around Bizarro's neck, pulling him to her and uppercutting him high into the sky. She flew up and punched Bizarro back to the ground. Naruto came up and slammed his knee into Bizarro's back right before he hit the dirt, abruptly stopping the creature's descent, before double slamming his fists into Bizarro. Bizarro was groggy from the repeated attacks and didn't put up much resistance when Naruto came up behind him and locked his arms from behind him, allowing Diana to put the inhibitor collar on his neck. Bizarro immediately felt his strength leave him. Bizarro no feel so good. I bet you don't, Naruto said as he punched Bizarro unconscious. Wonder Woman and Naruto looked down at Bizarro before she placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder. Good job, she complimented. Later. You handled yourself well against Bizarro, Wonder Woman said as Bizarro was dragged away by several members of the League to a secure location. Thank you, Wonder Woman. That means a great deal coming from you, Naruto acknowledged. Though I was somewhat concerned when you went after him on your own. Bizarro, though he is a flawed and much weaker clone of Superman, is still leagues above someone like Devastation. Wonder Woman chastised him. In time, everybody learns what it's like to lose, So why run from it? If I fail, then I fail. Naruto stated. In my defense though, devastation couldn't even tickle me, so there was no conceivable way to know what I could not handle. Even so, I came here looking for you, not Bizarro. There is something that I wanted to ask you, Naruto said. Well, I've got time now that Bizarro and Giganta have been dealt with, Diana said. I was wondering if you could consider becoming my sparring partner, and if I could learn your fighting styles, Naruto stated. It sounds like you're looking for a mentor, Wonder Woman said. Not exactly. I like my team, but I can't spar with any of them. While I can hold my strength back so they don't die, none of their attacks can hurt me, so sparring against me wouldn't be very useful. I need a sparring partner that can take the hits and one that can hurt me. And boxing and Muay Thai is good and all, but I need a style that can better complement my strength and durability. That still sounds like you're asking for me to mentor you, Wonder Woman deadpanned. Naruto thought about it for several moments, and realized that it did sound like that. Okay, fine, it does sound like that, but I'm not asking to be your protege and one day take your place. I already got the codename figured out. I just want to train with you and learn from you, Diana of Themyscira, not become your sidekick and eventual replacement, Naruto said. Diana thought it over. She did not have a sidekick or student like the others. She also was not sure she wanted one yet. This would be a good way to see what that might be like, having an apprentice. I'll come to the cave tomorrow, and we will see if you have what it takes to spar with me. Mount Justice, July 28th, 10 a.m. Naruto's feet skidded along the ground as he was punched back by Diana, his arms held up in an X-guard. Well, you certainly can take my hits, Wonder Woman said as she walked into view, sporting some bruises. Did you think I was lying? Naruto teased, uncrossing his arms and showing a bloody lip as well as other bruises. No, but most can't handle the level of strength I'm currently using, Diana said. So then, you are still holding back, Naruto said as he cracked his neck. If I didn't hold back, there would be a lot less villains and people in the world, Diana said. People like her and Superman were immeasurably strong. Diana was nearly Superman's equal. People like them had to hold back, since they did not kill their villains. But fighting at their true strength all the time was irresponsible. It could cost innocent civilians their lives, and so, they only fight at the level they need to fight. Still, Naruto was quite strong and very durable, capable of handling much more of her strength than Devastation or Bizarro. He wasn't at hers and Superman's true strength yet, but he very well may get there one day. Now let's move on to weapons, Diana said as she picked up her shield and a blunted version of her sword. Got my own right here, Naruto said as he reached into a portal and pulled out a blunted version of the double-edged sword that Thanos had used in his earlier life before acquiring the gauntlet. They both assumed stances and Wonder Woman gave a smirk. Show me what you've got. With pleasure, Naruto said before he jumped into the air and his sword clashed with Wonder Woman's. 1 p.m. You did well today. I'll come by in the morning tomorrow and start teaching one of my styles, Wonder Woman said to Naruto as she walked to the Zeta tube, sporting more bruises than she had a few hours ago. Awesome, Naruto tiredly said with a thumbs up from his spot on the floor. Wonder Woman chuckled a little as she was beginning to enjoy this, and would enjoy training this kid. As she stepped through the Zeta tube, Naruto lay there on the floor of the training room tiredly, sporting many more bruises that were already healing thanks to his healing factor, and would be good in a few minutes. Gan had been watching this training session, which was more akin to a fight to the death between two demigods, minus the lethal part. She had been concerned for her not-so-secret crush and couldn't intervene earlier, but now that the fight was done, she flew over to help him. Naruto, are you okay? I'm okay, Gan. I'm fine. Seriously, look, Naruto said. Though touched by her worry over his injuries, it was not necessary. He pointed to his bruises and showed they were more or less already healed up. Gan saw that the bruises were already healing and shrinking and revealing healthy skin. Would you do me a small favor and carry me to the couch so I can rest some? I'll make us dinner later, Naruto bribed. He was more than aware of her crush on him. He also liked her in that sense, and wanted to use tonight to maybe start a relationship with her. 6 p.m. This is really good, Gan moaned in delight as she dug into her steak that Naruto made. I'm glad you like it, Naruto said as he ate his own steak. That was my first time cooking steak on a grill. I thought for a minute I had overdone it, but I'm glad it turned out good. I was a little unsure about eating it when it was a bit bloody, but I'm glad you didn't cook more than that, Gan complimented. If I had cooked it until the steak was well done, it would have been like trying to eat the leather on my boots. I like leather, but not that much, Naruto joked and Gan giggled. Hey, can I ask you something? Gan asked. Sure, what is it? Naruto asked. Why did you want to train under Wonder Woman? Gan asked. Well, you know how I learn how to control my strength so I don't accidentally break someone's spine when I hug them, right? Gan nodded and he continued. Well, I can't turn off my durability and reflexes. No human without super strength equivalent to or near Bizarro's could possibly injure me. Plus, Wonder Woman is said to be the best melee fighter in the whole world. That's a quote from Batman, by the way. Plus, I was getting a little arrogant. I was starting to think that I was invincible, that I could defeat anyone who came after me, even Superman and Wonder Woman. I needed that eye-opener. To see that I am not the strongest. Not yet, anyway. It was humbling. The last thing that I want on my conscience is getting any of the team killed, you especially, because I became complacent and arrogant. Gan, seeing how the thought of losing any of the team affected him so, reached her hand out and placed it on top of his. Naruto saw this and took her hand in his and they stared deep into each other's eyes. They might have done more, had an alarm not gone off. Alert, unidentified object approaching the cave. ETA 2 minutes. At its current trajectory, it will crash into and destroy the mountain. Evacuate the cave immediately. The computer's voice came. Naruto expanded his senses to sense what this object was, and while it was coming from space, it was no asteroid. It was a... Naruto bolted from his seat and ran outside to see a fireball breaking through the atmosphere. Naruto focused his powers and raised his hands, a layer of blue energy covering the ship before it slowed down. Naruto was able to slow it down, so instead of slamming into the cave like an asteroid, Naruto guided it gently toward the ground. Gan came up behind Naruto. It's some kind of ship, Gan said as she looked at the ship, but it's not any that I recognize. And then there's this, Naruto said as he looked at the characters, which he assumed were words in an alien language. He knew 7 languages but not this language. Then the glass window on the ship was smashed off, and steam rolled out. Naruto was immediately on guard. Get ready for a fight, Gan, Naruto said as he assumed his boxing stance, and Gan floated in the air, her eyes glowing. Soon enough they saw a feminine figure through the steam. Who are you? Naruto demanded, and the woman stayed in the steam, speaking some kind of language which Naruto nor Gan understood. Great, I can't tell what she is trying to say. Naruto groaned in annoyance. This was gonna make things much more difficult. Give me a second. I might be able to help with that, Gan said telepathically as she then mentally established a link between Naruto, herself and the woman. Okay, try it again. Can you understand me now? Naruto asked and the woman in the steam nodded. Yes, how did you that? The girl asked. That's my doing. I'm acting as a physic translator. You're still speaking your language and we speak ours, but we all understand each other now, Gan said. Can you maybe step into the light? I wouldn't mind seeing who I'm talking to, Naruto said. I would, but the woman sounded unsure about something. Naruto's eyes narrowed before they widened as his enhanced senses allowed him to see why. You're naked, aren't you? Naruto asked as she nodded through the steam, though it was starting to clear. Naruto took off his jacket and held it out for her. Here. Wear this and cover yourself up. The woman slowly took the jacket and put it on before stepping into the light. She had fair skin, long blonde hair, blue eyes, and a beautiful figure, even though she had covered herself with Naruto's jacket. So, now that we are past the language barrier, some introductions. I'm Naruto, this is Gan. Naruto gestured to Gan, who waved nervously, as they still didn't know what this alien girl wanted. I'm Kara Zor-El, the now named Kara said before looking around frantically. This is Earth, right? Yeah. Which begs the question, why did you come to this planet? Gan asked. I am looking for my cousin Kal-El. We're from Krypton and she could not get any more words out, as she appeared to be exhausted and she fell forward, unconscious. Naruto was by her side before she hit the dirt, holding her steady. Easy, Kara. I've got you. Gan, head back to the cave. Call Superman and Batman and get them here immediately. This is an emergency, Naruto said as he stood and was carrying Kara bridal style. Naruto telekinetically levitated Kara's ship and it floated in the air, trailing behind him as he walked back to the cave. He would not normally bring foreign tech into the base, but he couldn't leave it outside either for some tourists to find. Mount Justice. Naruto had Kara on a bed in the medbay, covered by a white sheet. Genso was in the room as well. Naruto was having the computer run a bioscan, make sure there was nothing wrong with her and to confirm her claim. Recognized Batman 02. Superman 01. Came the computer's voice from the teleporter. They're here. Would you go bring them here, please? Naruto asked Gan. Sure, I'll bring them here, Gan said as she flew through the cave. While he waited for Gan to bring Superman and Batman, Naruto continued performing bioscans on her. They concluded that she was at least not human. She might very well be Kryptonian like she claimed. Kara woke up at that moment, frightened as she was in a new environment that she didn't recognize. What are you doing to me? She demanded, though Naruto could not understand what she was saying, as Gan must have forgotten to keep the psychic translation going. Her eyes glowed red and without realizing it, unleashed her heat vision at Naruto. Naruto put his arms up and blocked the red lasers, as they scattered on impact. Kara's cried out as she didn't mean to do that, and covered her eyes, unwittingly floating into the air. It was then that Superman gently grabbed her ankle and the two began talking in Kryptonian. While that was happening, Gan came up to Naruto. Did she hurt you? Gan asked. It's not as bad as it looks, Naruto said. The little bit of damage caused by Kara's eye beams healed up. This Kara Zor-El, from Krypton. She's my cousin, Clark said as he and Kara landed back on the ground. Your cousin torched $50,000 worth of custom hardware, Batman pointed out as he gestured to the burning equipment. When Naruto had blocked the heat vision, the beams and splintered into other beams that went in every direction, burning some of the medbay's equipment. Send me the bill, Superman said. On a reporter's salary? Right, Batman said sarcastically. Not to break up the family reunion, but if Kara needs a place to stay, Mount Justice has 10 other free rooms that aren't being used, Naruto offered. Thanks, but I was hoping she might stay at the fortress until she got a hang of her powers, Superman said. You mean that fortress you have in the Arctic? Naruto asked, and Clark was surprised he knew. Diana told me while we were sparring today. Look, point is, Kara needs to interact with people and learn Earth's culture if she's going to stay here. Plus, she needs to learn how to control her powers, like you said. Gan and I can help accomplish both. You have a busy schedule and can't see her all the time. At least this way, when you're not busy, you can come by and she won't suffer from your absence. Superman turned to ask Kara and they spoke in their native Kryptonian language. I wish I knew what they were saying, Naruto thought. Then got an idea. Genso, please download the Kryptonian language into my brain, please. He communicated with Genso. Of course, Naruto-san. This will take a moment, Genso said telepathically as he linked to Kara's mind and downloaded the Kryptonian language to Naruto. All done, Genso said telepathically, and Naruto could now understand what they were saying. Kara stepped forward a bit and said to Naruto, I'm sorry about earlier. Don't worry about it, Naruto said back in Kryptonian, shocking Superman and Kara. No real harm was done. You speak Kryptonian? How? You couldn't before? Kara asked in shock. I have this little guy to thank, Naruto said as he stroked Genso's chin, who purred at the action. I had Genso here download the Kryptonian language to my mind while you two were talking. So, would you like to stay? I think I would, Kara said. Great. I'll let you and your cousin have a few moments, and then we'll help get you settled in, Naruto said as he and Gan walked out. That was really nice what you did for her, Gan said as they spoke telepathically. I like to think I have a generous heart. Besides, leaving her alone in an ice fortress is pointless when we can have her here, learning Earth culture and training her powers, interacting with people, Naruto said back. Yeah, it'll be just like having a sister. I mean, I have a lot on Mars, but it's not quite the same, Gan said. Because she'd actually be able to relate to what you're going through, adapting to Earth culture and all that, Naruto guessed, and Gan nodded. You know, Gen said as she became a little nervous and acted cute. Earlier, before all the excitement, we were having a moment. Well, let's pick up where we left off, Naruto said as he pulled her close to him, the two of them wrapping their arms around each other and kissing each other passionately. Mount Justice, July 29th, 1637 Eastern Daylight Time. After getting Kara settled in at the cave, getting her some food, spare clothes and some rest, Naruto decided to introduce her to the rest of the team. Naruto, Gan, and Kara, who was wearing some jeans and a t-shirt, walked into the main room of the cave where Robin, Wally, and Calder were waiting for them. Hey guys, Naruto said. Naruto, what's up? Why did we need to come here? Wally asked as he then saw Kara. And who are you? Hey, I'm Wally. Nice to meet you. My name is Kara, Kara said. Where have you been all my life? Wally asked. Argo City, Kara said as Wally was confused. Everyone meet the cave's newest tenant. Kara is from Kryton and is Superman's cousin, Naruto said as Kara bowed. So what brought you here? Wally asked. My ship crashed outside the cave. Naruto is letting me stay here, Kara said. Will she be joining us at some point on mission? Calder asked, generally curious since she was Superman's cousin. Kara still needs master her powers first. After that, Naruto said as he smiled at Kara, that will be her choice. From there, Kara began talking with the others and started to get accumulated to Earth's culture. August 3rd, Metropolis, 13:06 Eastern Daylight Time. Naruto, wearing his hero outfit, stood on top of the daily planet with his eyes closed. He was balanced perfectly on the tip with one foot on it. He was focusing intently on using his spatial manipulation powers to sense everything around him. He might have enhanced senses, but not to the point where he could hear something from miles away or see objects at a microscopic level. That's why he had trained his spatial manipulation ability so that he could sense everything going on around him. His attention was suddenly drawn to the feeling of snapping bridge cables, cars screeching and people screaming. Naruto's eyes snapped open. That's my cue, he said to himself before opening a portal to the bridge. Superman made it to the bridge just in time to prevent a portion of it from collapsing and was using his heat vision to weld metal bars together. As Superman welded the bridge together, Naruto stepped out of his portal and started lifting vehicles to safety. Just as he finished with a vehicle with a young couple in it, a school bus suddenly started to fall further off the bridge. The children were screaming in fear when Naruto grabbed the back of the bus and started to pull the bus back. The bus was pretty close to falling off when Naruto grabbed on, so he skidded forward a little but managed to get it under control and pulled the bus to safety. That was close, he commented until he noticed another vehicle about to go over. Naruto saw one other vehicle about to fall over and was going to use his telekinesis to catch it. Fortunately, Superman had finished his welding and caught the car before it hit Naruto could and safely brought it back onto the bridge. Superman smiled at Naruto. Thanks for the help, Infinity. While I have you, how is Kara doing? I haven't been able to come by in a few days. Naruto shrugged. She's doing fine, if you don't count blasting lasers out of her eyes every time she gets startled. She's still doing that, huh? Superman said, dejected as he was hoping she was ready to come visit him and maybe live with him and Lois in the city. Naruto placed a hand on Superman's shoulder. She still needs more time to get used to Earth and her powers. It wouldn't be good if she accidentally burned down a building because some kid startled her. We are past the language barrier after day 1, thanks to Genso, so now it's just a matter of how quickly she can get control over her powers. Come by later if you have time. She'd like to see you again. The Kryptonian hero was going to respond when his comm link started beeping and pressed it. This is Superman. Whoa, Arrow, slow down. What's attacking? Naruto raised an eyebrow as Superman listened. No, I'm definitely available. What are your coordinates? Alright, I'm on my way. Superman turned to Naruto. Sorry, Infinity, but I'm going to have to cut this conversation short. Duty calls. Let Kara know I'll be by later, he explained. Mount Justice, August 3rd, 13:06 Eastern Daylight Time. The rest of the team were in the cave hanging out and talking while Kid and Robin were playing holographic air hockey. Recognized, Infinity B01, the computer said as the Zeta tube activated and Naruto walked in. Hi, Naruto. How was Metropolis? Gan asked. It was alright. Saw some sights, saved a bunch of people from falling off a bridge. The usual, Naruto said to his girlfriend with a smile. Oh, by the way, Kara, Naruto said as she turned towards him, as she was hanging out with the others. Soup said he misses you and would drop by later to spend some time. I'm glad he's trying to come by. I just wish he would visit more, Kara said with some sadness. He has a lot on his plate. Trying to be a superhero and live an ordinary life as well, it takes a lot of time. It's not that he doesn't care. He is very busy, Naruto said with sympathy. They then heard someone clear their throat as they saw Black Canary and Martian Manhunter walk in. Ready for training, everyone? Black Canary asked. Black Canary. Uncle John. Gan shouted as she flew over and hugged her uncle. Gan. I was in the neighborhood, so I thought I'd see how you're adjusting, John said. A few bumps, but I'm learning, Gan said. That's all I can ask, John said as Kara was about to leave before Canary spoke. Stick around. Class is in session, Canary said to Kara as she activated the holographic battlefield and walked to the center. Kara didn't feel like she belonged in this and looked to Naruto. You could learn something from this. The universe is dangerous, even for people like us. Naruto spoke to her in Kryptonian. It seemed to do the trick and she decided to stick around. I consider it an honor to be your teacher. I'll throw a lot at you, everything I've learned from my own mentors, and my own bruises, Canary said as she removed her jacket, causing her arm wound to sting. What happened? Gan asked. The job. Now, combat is about controlling the conflict, putting the battle on your terms. You should always be acting, never reacting. I'll need a sparring partner, Canary said as she threw his jacket to the floor. Right here, Kid Flash said quickly as he raised his hand, causing Naruto to shake his head. He walked forward, finished eating his banana and tossed it into a nearby trash can. After this, I'll show you my moves. He attempted to flirt as Kara rolled her own eyes and shook his head. He's going to just embarrass himself, Kara said in her native tongue. Kid Flash is a stubborn one. He's the type that usually learns the best hard way, Naruto replied back. Black Canary just grinned as she was used to this and expected it from Kid Flash. She threw a fast right jab which Wally blocked with his forearm, but Canary quickly fell into a leg sweep and took Wally's legs out from under him, causing him to fall flat on his back. The scanner on the floor beeped as it recorded Kid Flash's failure. Oh, it hurts so good, Kid Flash groaned. Ooh. He hit on teacher and got served? Robin replied with a grin. Dude, Kid Flash said, already embarrassed before Robin's comment. Canary did not look amused by Robin's comment. He let you put the fight on your terms, Naruto said with his arms crossed, which got a nod from Black Canary. That's correct, she said with a grin. She then motioned for Naruto to step forward, deciding to test him next. But let's see if you know how to do this properly. Naruto stepped into the arena as Kid Flash rejoined the others on the sidelines. The teacher and students stood in front of each other, staring each other down. Canary could tell by the way he was standing that he was calculating what she was capable of while at the same time not leaving any opening that she could exploit. I apologize in advance, Naruto said as he got into a fighting stance. Why are you apologizing? Canary asked. I can't exactly turn off my durability like I can with my strength, so if you break your fist on my face, I'm sorry in advance, Naruto pointed. That won't be an issue, Canary assured him as she had trained with other members of the league, especially the super-powered ones, and taught many of the super-powered ones more than a couple things. Well, in that case, Naruto said as he quickly moved to attack, throwing a jab that she easily blocked. He telegraphed that on purpose and she went to throw him over her shoulder. He was not like Wally though and recovered in midair, slipping out of her grasp with his intangibility, and then landing on his feet. Capitalizing on that, he threw his hand forward in an open palm, coating Canary in his blue energy, and pushing her out of bounds of the arena, which the computer registered as Naruto's win. I didn't say you could use your powers, Black Canary reprimanded him, annoyed that he did that. You also didn't say we couldn't, Naruto pointed out. I merely took advantage of a convenient loophole in your words. I put the battle on my terms and used every advantage I had to gain the upper hand. In a war or a battle, there are no rules. There is only victory or, in your case, defeat. He turned to address his team for a moment. When we are out there on mission, do not be afraid to use everything you have. Our enemies will not show you any mercy, so you must be ready to use any means necessary to subdue them. This is still training. And from now on, you will not use your powers unless I say so. Is that understood? She said sternly. Of course, no powers unless you say so from now on, Naruto said, and that seemed to placate her. She seemed to realize that he was not trying to show her up, merely drive home the lesson. Canary re-entered the arena and the two got into fighting stances, with Naruto making the first move after he realized she wouldn't, by throwing a right punch at Canary. Canary caught his arm in both hands and began to flip him over her head. Naruto, however, countered by grabbing Canary's right wrist and, as he landed on his feet, flipped Canary over his shoulder and onto the floor. Canary didn't miss a beat, however, as she quickly hooked her legs around Naruto's neck before she hit the ground and used them to flip Naruto onto the ground, while also using that momentum to roll on top of him, pinning him down. Not bad, Canary complimented. Naruto grinned. Not bad yourself. Now if you don't mind, he said, referring to the position they were currently in. Canary got off of Naruto and helped him to his feet. She then turned to the rest of the group. The first thing you need to know when facing an opponent is that you must always remain calm and calculative. Analyze their attack pattern, find a weakness and use it, and as Naruto showed in our first match, to use whatever is at your disposal to your advantage, especially when facing someone who is faster or stronger than you are. No matter how strong an opponent might be, they always have a weakness, she told them. Just then an alarm was heard throughout the cave and Batman appeared on a holographic screen. Batman to the cave. The Dark Knight said, getting everyone's attention. 5 hours ago, a new menace attacked Green Arrow and Black Canary. A smaller image appeared into top left corner of the screen. The image appeared to be that of a male humanoid with short orange hair, slightly tanned skin, pointy ears and red eyes with black sclera. The attacker was capable of studying then duplicating the powers and abilities of its opponents. The screen widened to show the being had what looked like green pants on. Superman flew into view only to be grabbed by the being and swung around, knocking Red Tornado and Flash away before tossing Superman's side and using heat vision to take out batarangs thrown by Batman. Arrow called in reinforcements, which nearly proved disastrous as our foe gained more and more power with each new combatant. Batman explained. Whoa, one guy with the powers of the entire league, Kid Flash said wide-eyed as he watched the screen. In the end, it took 8 Leaguers 4 hours to defeat and dismantle the android, Batman announced. An android? Robin asked in surprise. Who made it? T.O. Morrow? A good guess, Robin, but Red Tornado doesn't think so, Batman replied calmly. The technology bears the signature of Professor Evo, John informed the group with a sense of dread. Evo? Aqualad asked in surprise. But Evo is dead. Black Canary sighed. So we all thought or hoped. Guessing that he faked his death so that he could work on this creation of his in peace, without having to worry about the Justice League dropping in on him before it was ready, Naruto wagered. That appears to be the case, Batman said in agreement. To make sure that this threat is permanently neutralized, we're sending 2 trucks carrying the android's parts to 2 separate SDR Labs facilities in Boston and New York for immediate evaluation. The screen showed a map of the 2 locations. Every precaution is being taken. We'll have 4 additional decoy trucks to create confusion in case Evo or anyone else tries to recover the remains. You will split into 2 undercover teams and guard the 2 real trucks. Yes, Kid Flash exclaimed. Road trip. Aqualad pulled out a handheld device. Coordinates received, he said. Then let's suit up and head out, Naruto told the team, who nodded in agreement. Canary stopped Naruto before he left. Be careful. If that thing gets reactivated, it could try to copy your powers, she warned. Naruto nodded seriously and left to get ready. That evening, in Litchfield County, the remains of the android were being loaded up onto the transports with security officers as well as Superman, Batman, Red Tornado, Flash, Captain Atom and Green Arrow standing guard. Superman heard something in the nearby bush and x-rayed them to see the team had arrived and were all wearing biker outfits and riding motorcycles. SDR Boston is go, one of the drivers reported. SDR Manhattan is go, a second driver reported. Green Arrow nodded to Batman, who then signaled the trucks to move out. The 6 trucks all moved out at the same time, with 3 starting to head for Boston and the other 3 heading for New York. The team broke up into 2 smaller teams and followed their trucks. Team 1 was Infinity and Robin, while Team 2 was Aqualad, Kid Flash and Miss Martian. With the trucks on their way, the Justice League headed for home. With Team 1. As the team was riding, they watched as the 2 decoy truck took an exit heading away from their destination. Hey, if dislike is the opposite of like, is disaster the opposite of aster? Robin asked his companion. See, instead of things going wrong, they go right. Naruto shook his head and chuckled. I wouldn't know, Robin. Hey, I'm just trying to make for conversation, Robin replied. Let's just go with hoping that this mission is aster then, Naruto said before revving his engine and moving closer to the truck. Robin couldn't help but chuckle at Naruto's statement. Over with Team 2. The others were riding along peacefully when Megan decided to ask them a question. Do you think Naruto is okay? She asked. She had noticed as they were leaving that something was bothering him, and she didn't get a chance to ask him as they handled their assignments. I wasn't reading his mind, I swear, but I could sense a lot of worry coming from him that seemed to come off him like waves. Kid Flash rode up on the other side of her. I've surfed that wave. Just give him some space, he advised before swerving closer. Me? Stick as close as you want. I'm sure Naruto's just worried about what might happen if the android were to be repaired and it duplicated his powers. Aqualad told Megan. To be honest, even I'm worried about what could happen if the android did that. Hopefully, this will be a quiet mission. Unbeknownst to Aqualad, a part of the cornfield they just passed shook and a swarm of green robot monkeys with jetpacks came flying out of the cornstalks. The monkeys began chasing after the truck and soon began to attack it. Aqualad activated his comm link. Aqualad to Infinity, our truck is under attack, he announced. We kind of figured. Protect the trucks at all costs, Naruto replied. Robot monkeys. Ha ha. Totally Evo's tweaked style, Robin said as he then activated his bike and switched it to battle mode, deploying a flying laser drone while Aqualad activated his water bearers and made whips knocking some of the monkeys off the side of the truck. Naruto switched his own bike to battle mode and leapt onto the truck and began to smash and tear apart the robot monkeys that attacked him, while the driver tried to keep the truck on the road. Robin hooked onto the back of the truck and knocked the monkeys off, and stopping them from cutting a hole in the back of the truck. The laser drones blasted a couple of the monkeys one by one, but soon more monkeys flew out of the cornfields and destroyed the drones. Back with Kid, Gan and Aqualad, their truck was under attack as well. Aqualad put his bike on autopilot, and used one water bearer as a whip and another as a sword so that he could still slash the monkey robots on the truck while destroying ones that tried to attack him. Ms. Martian used her telekinesis to destroy the robots, and then flew off her bike while Kid jumped off his bike and used super sped to get to the truck. The monkeys were able to laser cut the roof of the truck off as the security guards on the inside opened fire and managed to destroy a few robots. Gan used her telekinesis to send the monkeys away as Kid super sped to the side of the bus and kicked the robots off the side of the truck. Gan soon had trouble as a whole group of monkeys dogpiled her, and she couldn't shake them off, so she used her morphing powers to grow some extra arms and began smashing the robots off of her and off the front of the truck. Kid kicked a robot monkey off the side, then grabbed the tail of another and flipped onto the top of the truck and freaked out for a minute as he saw Gan with 4 extra arms. The monkeys from inside the truck dogpiled them as 4 managed to fly away with the case containing the android's parts. The monkeys activated their boosters and quickly put a lot of distance between them as Gan, Kid and Calder got rid of the rest of the monkeys and lost sight of their crate. Back with Robin and Naruto, Robin got to the top of the truck and used his Eskrima sticks to fend off the monkeys. More monkeys arrived as Naruto smashed them to bits while 2 of the monkeys managed to blow out the tires on the truck. Robin then opened the driver's door. Get out! Robin shouted as he and the driver jumped off the truck and onto the side of the road. I've had enough of this, Naruto shouted in frustration as he slammed his feet down, getting into a stance and threw both arms out to his side, release a wave of his blue energy that froze everything from the truck to the robots both inside and outside the truck and himself. Naruto then closed his fists, destroying all but 4 of the monkeys at once. He left 4 alive on purpose. Robin walked the driver out of the cornfield and laid him down near the road before walking up to Naruto. Infinity, we've lost our cargo. Did you? Aqualad messaged and Naruto replied, we managed to save ours. This Professor Evo, if he is alive, seems to be 2 steps ahead of us, Gan said. Maybe we should call Red Tornado. There's no need to call the lead yet, Naruto said as he opened the crate containing half of the android. Naruto is right. The mission can still succeed if we recover the parts in time, before they are reassembled, Calder points out. That's a great plan, except for the part about us not knowing where to look, Kid pointed out. Maybe we do, Robin said as he plugged a USB into one of the robot monkeys and used his wrist computer to hack it. We'd have heard by now if the decoy trucks had been attacked. So how did the monkeys know exactly which trucks to target? Robin asked as he hacked into the monkey's data drive. Ha! The parts have GPS. The monkeys can track the signal, which means I can track them with the one I captured. It looks like the one set is converging on Gotham City, Robin said. Robin, can you track exactly where the robots are actually headed? A specific destination would be help, Naruto pointed out. Robin hacked into one of the ones that are still alive and tracked where the monkeys were supposed to be headed. Looks like it's an abandoned warehouse by the Gotham Railroad, Robin told him. Yeah, that's not suspicious, Naruto scoffed. It would allow Evo to make a quick getaway and go off the grid once he has his android back, and then we'd never catch him until he resurfaces with something more dangerous. Now that I think about it, Bats probably figured Evo was alive when he realized the android was his work. So, he suspected Evo would try to get the android back, and that's why he purposely didn't have me just drop them off at Star Labs. He wanted to verify that he was. I think we need to do more than that, Naruto thought. Alright team, new plan. We're gonna capture Evo. We've got this one opportunity before he slips off the grid again, and we have to take it, Naruto told them as he opened a portal. I'm gonna drop mine and Robin's half of the android off at Star Labs real quick. Then, we capture this mad scientist. In Gotham. Abandoned warehouse. In the not-so-suspicious abandoned warehouse was a very small man by the name of Dr. Anthony Evo. Evo was shorter than the average man, giving off a non-threatening appearance despite the actual threat he poses. He had a rather formal appearance, inclusive of a white dress shirt beneath a green, sleeveless sweater and a red bow tie. His dress shirt was tucked in his pants, and the sleeves were rolled up to his elbow. His sleeveless, green sweater had a pocket, holding 2 pens. He wore black pants that reached to his ankles, revealing his white socks. He had visible wrinkles on his forehead, beneath his eyes, and marionette lines. He had high cheekbones. His hair was auburn, with a streak of gray hair on the sides, another indicator of his age. Evo did not like using abandoned warehouses, even on a temporary basis. He found the entire trope of villains using abandoned warehouses to be cliché, but it served his purpose. Nobody would be looking for him here, and also, they were less likely to notice the flying crate his monkeys would bring him. And once he had his crates, he would quietly get on the cargo train that was scheduled to pass by later tonight and make off with his android, allowing him to disappear off the grid so he could make a better Amazo, one that wouldn't be dismantled by those troublesome heroes this time. Unfortunately for him, his hopes were dashed as a blue portal opened up behind him, drawing his attention as the team entered his domain. What? How? You weren't supposed to be able to find me. Evo shouted as the few monkeys he had with him went into battle mode and attacked the team of superheroes, only for Naruto to close his fist and a blue energy to envelop the robot monkeys and crush them to dust. Robin was able to backtrace the coordinates that your little monkey robots were programmed with. It stood to reason that you would be here. And now, the only place you're going is a cell in Belle Reve, Naruto said as he knocked out the doctor. Mount Justice, August 4th, 1:06 Eastern Daylight Time. The team returned to the cave after they recovered the other half of Amazo, as Batman and members of the League were there to hear their report on the android. The Amazo android is in pieces again, safely being analyzed at the 2 separate SDR labs. And on top of that, Evo is not enjoying a nice stay at Belle Reve, Naruto said. Well done. I'll expect mission reports from each of you in the morning. For now, take the rest of the night off, Batman said to the team. Ahem. Black Canary heard as she saw Kara walk up to her. I was wondering if you'd be willing to teach me, Kara said. Of course, that's why I'm here, Black Canary said. Coast City. Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, was patrolling his hometown and was on the lookout for a very serious threat. A few days ago, Hal had received word from the Guardians of the Universe that Sinestro, Hal's former teacher in the Green Lantern Corps who had betrayed the Corps and tried to kill the Guardians of the Universe, had escaped from prison and was last detected heading towards Earth. Hal was sure that he and John Stewart, a fellow Green Lantern and member of the Justice League, could handle Sinestro, but then John was called away by the Guardians to help with another situation. Since John was gone, Green Arrow, a very good friend of Hal's, had volunteered to help him out and was also patrolling the city. Suddenly, a yellow beam of light brought Hal out of his thoughts. Hal quickly created a green energy shield with the power of his ring. I see your reflexes are as quick as ever, a voice said as Hal lowered his shield. Hal narrowed his eyes at his former teacher as Sinestro floated up in front of him. Sinestro was a red-skinned alien with black eyes, a slightly upwardly elongated forehead and pointy ears. He also had a thin black mustache on his upper lip. He was wearing a uniform that was similar to what the Green Lanterns would wear, except it was yellow and black and had the symbol for fear in the center of the chest. I see you haven't changed since the last time we saw each other, Sinestro, Hal said, hoping to give Green Arrow time to get there, as Sinestro was a very tough opponent to beat since Green Lantern rings didn't work very well against things with the color yellow. I hope you're not expecting help to arrive, as I know that John Stewart is off-planet, and no Earthling hero would be foolish enough to attempt anything against my power, Sinestro said arrogantly. Just as Sinestro finished talking, a pair of arrows came flying up behind him and exploded when they hit his back. The smoke from the explosions cleared, but Sinestro was completely unharmed and surrounded by a yellow energy bubble. Sinestro glanced over his shoulder and saw Green Arrow standing on the rooftop with a young female. Both of them were drawing another arrow. The girl had dark gray, almost black eyes, long blonde hair that was tied back, and slightly tanned skin. She was wearing a green mask, green top with a light green arrow on the front, and green pants that were covered with black leg pads. She also had on black shoes, a black belt, and was wearing dark green fingerless gloves. She carried a green quiver on her back with her arrows. I guess I should have known that would not work, Green Arrow told his companion. Stay on your toes, Artemis. I always do, Artemis replied with a smirk as she aimed at Sinestro. Sinestro shook his head. Do you really think that those puny toys can help you? He asked Hal, only to be struck in the chest by a powerful beam of green energy from Hal's ring. They don't need to defeat you, only distract you. Hal countered as he and Sinestro engaged in aerial combat, using their rings to create all sorts of weapons and hard-light constructs. Sinestro was going with increasingly destructive weapons while Hal was sticking with less destructive weapons, mindful of the fact that they were in the middle of a city full of civilians. Green Arrow and Artemis would fire their arrows at Sinestro whenever they could, but they were forced to stick with mostly making sure the civilians didn't get hurt as Green Lantern attempted to lure his opponent away from the city. Unfortunately, Sinestro knew exactly what Green Lantern was thinking and trying to do. He was playing along while at the same time making sure that Hal would head for the place that Sinestro knew held Hal's one weakness. Meanwhile, Ferris Aircraft's airfield. Carol Ferris, Hal Jordan's longtime love interest and the owner of Ferris Aircraft, sat in her office going over the paperwork. She was a gorgeous woman with long black hair that went down her back, blue eyes, slightly tanned skin, and a slightly hourglass figure. She was wearing khaki pants, a yellow short-sleeved shirt under a blue jacket with the sleeves rolls up, and tennis shoes. She had gold hoop earrings in her ears. I wonder when Hal is going to stop by, she thought as she set down what she was reading and turned her seat so she could look out into the airfield. Carol knew all about Hal's secret identity as the Green Lantern, and even helped cover for him whenever he would disappear on a mission. Suddenly, Carol saw green and yellow lights flash out over the airfield. Sinestro, she said in horror, and she immediately ran out of the office to order an evacuation of the area. Over the airfield. Hal immediately realized that he had been tricked by Sinestro the moment he laid eyes on the airfield. Damn you! He growled at Sinestro, who smirked and pointed his ring at the main office area just as Carol came running out. An exploding arrow struck Sinestro in the back. Sinestro angrily turned to see Green Arrow and Artemis. Artemis, protect Carol Ferris, Green Arrow ordered. Why is she so important? Artemis asked curiously. She's Hal's girlfriend, Arrow replied while shooting another arrow at Sinestro. Sinestro was getting fed up with Green Lantern's friends interfering with his revenge. The alien menace fired a powerful beam of energy at Green Arrow, incinerating the arrow, as Arrow ran to get out of the way but was knocked off his feet because of the explosion. A piece of rubble flew through the air and clipped Arrow in the side of the head, knocking him out cold. Green Lantern tried to attack Sinestro with a beam of energy while he was distracted, but Sinestro countered with his own beam of energy. Artemis had just reached Carol and turned to see her mentor unconscious on the ground. Green Arrow, she shouted in worry. H. Hal shouted in pain as Sinestro got around his defenses and landed a powerful blow on Hal, sending him crashing to the ground below near where Carol and Artemis were watching. The force of the impact caused a small crater to form. Carol ran to Hal's side, even though she knew it was dangerous. Artemis went with her and shot arrow after arrow at Sinestro, but none of them were able to penetrate the energy aura that surrounded Sinestro. Hal, Carol said as she knelt down next to him. Green Lantern groaned as he opened his eyes. Carol, he said as he tried to sit up. Carol helped him sit up. Hal realized that Sinestro was floating overhead. You need to get out of here, Carol, he told her. Neither of you are going anywhere, Sinestro said with an evil grin as he pointed his glowing ring at the crater. Suddenly, a fist struck Sinestro in the face, sending him flying into one of the jet fighters kept at the airbase. Artemis, Green Lantern, and Carol turned to see Infinity floating where Sinestro had been. He was wearing his hero uniform. The only difference here was that he had a black leather duster on right now. It looks like I got here just in time, Naruto commented as he floated over to Green Lantern, a blue aura surrounding Naruto. What are you doing here? Green Lantern asked as he got up. I was sightseeing when I heard the battle and decided to check it out, Naruto explained as he looked around and noticed Green Arrow. And considering that Green Arrow is down for the count, it looks like you could use the help. Green Lantern nodded before turning to Artemis. Stay with Carol, he told her before he and Infinity headed for where Sinestro had crashed. Sinestro growled angrily as he got up. It seems I wasted too much time toying with you, Jordan, he said after he took notice of Infinity. Surrender, while you still have a functioning jaw, Infinity threatened while cracking his knuckles. Sinestro replied by firing a beam of yellow energy at Infinity, who swatted it away, surprising Sinestro. Hal fired a beam of green energy at Sinestro, while Naruto used his telekinesis to throw some debris at Sinestro. Sinestro was forced to shield himself and stay on defense due to being assaulted from two sides. Artemis did not like being stuck on the sidelines and was waiting for just the opportunity to help. She had pulled out one of her most powerful exploding arrows and was watching the fight intently. Come on, she thought. Infinity used his intangibility to slip past Sinestro's shield and delivered a hard punch to both his gut and face, sending Sinestro towards Artemis and Carol. Artemis smirked. Gotcha. She released the arrow, which flew through the air and struck Sinestro, exploded on contact. The blast sent Sinestro back towards Green Lantern, who created a giant green mallet with his ring. Hal slammed the mallet down on top of the former Green Lantern member as hard as he could. The attack slammed Sinestro down on the ground so hard that it formed a crater and made the ground around them shake. Hal slowly removed the mallet as Infinity and Artemis prepared to attack Sinestro should he still be conscious. Fortunately, Sinestro wasn't. Nice shot, by the way. Infinity told Artemis, giving her a thumbs up as Green Arrow joined them, holding his head. Thanks, Artemis replied with a grin. Hal created a holding cell with his ring and took off to deliver Sinestro to the Guardians. Infinity turned to Artemis. So, not to sound rude or anything, but who are you exactly? He asked, since he had never seen her before. My name is Artemis, Artemis replied. Green Arrow put a hand on her shoulder. She's my niece as well as new protégé, he said proudly. Infinity held out his hand. Nice to meet you, Artemis, he said kindly as Artemis shook his hand. Artemis was a little confused. Aren't you going to ask where Speedy is? She asked. Naruto shook his head. I've never met Speedy, and from what little I've heard, not something to be impressed about, he explained. A beeping noise went off on Infinity's comlink. Infinity here, he said before listening to the person on the other end. No, Canary, I didn't forget about training. I stopped to help Lantern, Arrow and Artemis deal with Sinestro, he explained. I'm on my way. He turned to Arrow and Artemis. Sorry, but I've gotta go. Green Arrow chuckled. Oh, no need to apologize. I know how Canary can be when it comes to training sessions, he assured the young hero before Infinity took off and portaled away. August 7th. Nighttime. Infinity Island. A young man hid in the shadows as he ran on the roof of one of the buildings. He shot an arrow at a guard, which electrocuted the guard, knocking him out. The young man made his way to the wall and shot another arrow, this one with a rope connected to it, up to the roof. Once the arrow had secured itself, the young man used the rope to pull himself up the wall. He ran to the cover of a pillar to keep from being spotted by a searchlight that was part of the security system. The young man was wearing a suit that predominantly black, with a red chest and collar. He had a red quiver on his back attached with 2 gray shoulder straps connected across the chest, and his hands had black fingerless gloves on them. The young man was once known as Speedy, Green Arrow's sidekick, but now called himself Red Arrow. He shot an arrow near a camera. The arrow had a device attached to it that caused the camera feed to be put on a loop so the person watching would only see an empty area. He then took out the 2 sentries with electro arrows that knocked them out cold. Inside a room. A female scientist was seated at a computer, working on a program. She was a bespectacled young woman with blonde hair and blue eyes. Her hair was short, almost to shoulder length at the back and with bangs over her eyes. She had on the classical lab coat of a scientist, with the sleeves rolled to her elbows. The white coat had several pockets, with one holding a pen. She wore dark blue pants that reached her ankles and an olive green V-neck shirt. She had a small earring on both ears. We're losing patience. Complete the project or forfeit your life, a male voice told her. I'm completing as fast as I can, she assured him. There was a knock at the door. One of the 2 guards went to answer only to have the door knocked over on top of him. Red Arrow entered the room and took out the other guard. The scientist was surprised to see him as he walked towards her. Dr. Rocket, Red Arrow said. Please tell me you're the advanced guy? Dr. Rocket asked as Red Arrow pulled out an arrow. No, I'm the only guy, he replied. You couldn't bring backup? Dr. Rocket asked in shock. What were their budget cuts? Suddenly, the sounds of a bell ringing filled the island. Soon after, the sounds of guards rushing around were heard. Red Arrow shot his arrow at the wall, and it exploded, taking the wall out. Now or never time, Doc, Red Arrow told her. Dr. Rocket looked at the device she had been working on. We can't leave this, she told Red Arrow. Look, I take it or I take you, he informed her. Right, take me, she replied, pulled off her glasses. Red Arrow shot another arrow with a rope down to a tree near the beach. He attached a zip line to the rope and hooked it to his belt. He then pulled Dr. Rocket close to his body. "Hang on," he ordered, which she did, and the two rode the cable down to the beach as armed soldiers arrived and started shooting at them. Dr. Rocket screamed on their way down, and Red Arrow unhooked the zip line and they landed on their feet. The two ran to the water where Red Arrow had a covered-up motorboat waiting for them. Dr. Rocket climbed in while Red Arrow pushed the boat out into the water. "So what do you call this? The Arrow boat?" she asked jokingly as Red Arrow climbed in. "I call it a rental, now get down," he replied as he started up the engine and activated a button on the boat's dash. A number of explosives on the beach then activated by the remote, making a loud beeping noise before detonating as Red Arrow steered the motorboat away from the island. "I think we're in the clear," he told the scientist. "Great, that leaves only one problem," Dr. Rocket said. Back on the island, a man with black hair and a highly advanced helmet that covered his upper face was examining the device Dr. Rocket had been working on. The masked man was known as Professor Ojo. An old man with white hair and a white beard on his chin and brown eyes with a scar across his left eye entered the room. The old man was known simply as Sensei. "Well?" Sensei asked. She finished. "We are good to go," Professor Ojo replied, resulting in Sensei smiling menacingly. August 8th. Beach near Mount Justice. Naruto, Kara, Megan, Calder and Robin were all out on the beach enjoying the perfect weather they were having. They had a cooler, beach umbrella, towels, volleyball net, surfboards and a small grill for cooking, not to mention they were all in swim gear. Megan was wearing a yellow bikini top and shorts, Calder wore dark blue swim trunks, Robin had on a pair of red and blue swim trunks as well as his black shades, Kara wore a red bikini top and shorts with her hair tied up in a high ponytail, and Naruto was wearing black swim trunks with red going up the side as well as a red Hawaiian t-shirt. "Hello Megan, we should hit the beach every day," Megan announced happily. Naruto smiled and took a deep breath before exhaling. "Yeah, just smell that beach air," he said happily. "First, a moment of silence for our absent comrade," Robin said in a solemn tone. "Poor Wally," Gen said sadly. Central City High School. The bell rang as the homeroom teacher welcomed the class to their first day of sophomore year. Wally groaned as he sank in his seat, wishing he was with his friends on the beach. Back at the beach. "Yes, poor Wally," Naruto said sarcastically while opening up the beach umbrella with a flick of his wrist and planting it into the sand. "Now, are we going to have some fun or whine about Flash Boy's first day back in the 365-day prison known as school?" he questioned with a grin on his face. Robin grinned right back at him. "I vote for fun," he shouted as he set his stuff down and takes off for the water. Naruto tossed his shirt to the side and joins the laughing boy wonder in a race to the water. "It's kind of funny," Kara stated as she, Calder and Megan watched the two boys as they dived into the water. "Whenever you guys go on a mission, Naruto is always so serious and cautious. When you're off duty, he's just like the rest of us, despite what I've heard Cadmus put him through." Calder nodded in agreement. "Yes, but at least he has been given this opportunity at a real life," he commented before grinning. "Now, are we just going to let those two have all the fun?" He, Megan and Kara then went to join Robin and Naruto. Naruto currently had Robin in a headlock and was giving the boy Wonder and Noogie until the 13-year-old managed to slip out of his grip and began throwing water on Naruto, who had to use his arms to shield his face. Seeing this, Kara tackled the distracted team leader into the water for a few seconds until they both emerged from under the water with Naruto having both arms around Kara's waist, tickling her sides. The young Kryptonian laughed and struggled to get out of his grip while begging for someone to help. Megan decided to help Kara out and snuck up behind Naruto. She then jumped onto his back and covered his eyes with her hands while laughing. "Ah, I'm blind," Naruto cried out jokingly while Kara managed to pry herself free from his grip around her waist. The two girls worked together to dunk Naruto into the shallow end of the water while Robin and Calder laughed at the sight. After that, they barbecued a couple of hot dogs on the small grill and then played a game of volleyball with Kara and Megan on one side and Robin, Calder and Naruto on the other. Once that was done, Calder went for a dive into the ocean to do some deep-sea exploring while Kara, Megan, Robin and Naruto surfed the waves. As the sun was beginning to set, the group decided to call it quits and headed back to the cave. They had soon changed into their hero attire, minus Kara, and gathered in the main meeting area when the Zeta Beam teleporter tube flashed and entering the monitor room were Batman, Red Tornado, Green Arrow and Artemis. "Hey kids," Green Arrow greeted with a smile. "Hey Ollie," Robin replied before he gestured to the girl. "Who's she?" Artemis. The female archer greeted as she held out her hand and shook with Robin and the others. I'm Green Arrow's niece and new protege as well as your new teammate. Well, welcome aboard, Naruto said with a smile as the two shook hands. They had already met, but Naruto was being polite and shook her hand since he was the team leader. It's good to see you again, Infinity, Artemis said with a smile. You two know each other? Kara asked curiously. We met the other day when I went to help Green Lantern deal with Sinestro, Naruto explained. Artemis and Green Arrow were already there. One of Artemis's exploding arrows allowed us to take Sinestro down. Kara, Gan and Artemis started talking about Artemis's different arrows while Naruto went to get his coat. Just as Naruto was returning, the Zeta Beam teleporter flashed. Recognize, Kid Flash B03. The computer announced. Wally was wearing red swim trunks and had some beach gear with him. The Wallman is in the house and ready to get this party star. He tripped over the umbrella he had and crashed hard onto the floor while his stuff was scattered everywhere and slid forward. Ted? He finished while everyone, including Batman, just stared at him with a blank look. Naruto swatted away the beach ball Wally had brought before it could hit his head. Wally, I told you that you weren't gonna make it in time for the beach party. The party's been over for 2 hours. Wallman, huh? Love the uniform. What exactly are your powers? Artemis asked with humor in her voice as Wally got up and walked over to the team. Who is this? Wally asked his teammates. Artemis, your new teammate. Artemis answered for them. Kid Flash. Never heard of you, Wally said, not the least bit impressed with Artemis. Green Arrow stepped up and put an arm around Artemis's shoulder. She my niece as well as my new protege, he explained. This surprised Kid Flash. New protege, but what happened to your old one? He asked. What happened to Speedy? Just then the Zeta Beam teleporter tube activated. Recognize, Speedy B07. It announced as the tube flashed. Red Arrow stepped out. Well, for starters, he doesn't go by Speedy anymore. You can call me Red Arrow now, he announced as he walked into the room. Everyone was a bit surprised by Roy's new uniform, but Oliver was shocked and astonished by the change. Roy, you look, he started, but was rudely interrupted by his former protege. Replaceable, Roy finished with a scowl on his face. Green Arrow was a bit taken back by Red Arrow's hostility towards him, but easily hid it. It's nothing like that, he assured Roy. You told me that you were going solo. So why waste time finding a sub? Can she even use that bow? Red Arrow asked his former partner. Artemis was getting sick of being looked down upon by Red Arrow. Yes, she can, she stated as she got into his face, while Roy's scowl deepened. I'm not some run-of-the-mill amateur arrowhead. I have the skills to back up my words. She then gestured to Infinity. You can ask Infinity over there just how good I am. Red Arrow, Naruto finally spoke up, his voice cutting through the tension and getting the group's attention as he took a step forward. His lips quirking up in amusement as he fought down his desire to mock Red Arrow for his derivative name and costume, especially when he was trying to make himself out as being independent, and not a sidekick or a hero in training. Ah yes, the science project, Red Arrow sneered, his lip curling upwards as he eyed Naruto disdainfully. I've heard about you, Infinity, was it? A rookie like the Ms. Martian and Artemis, only one that's more dangerous, and who has no control over his power. If he was trying to provoke him, he failed. Instead, the Naruto just sent the boy an amused look. I think the fact that I was made the leader speaks for itself. I am not out of control, nor am I incompetent. You though, well, the jury's still out on that one. As far as I can see, you're nothing but an egotistical, spoiled little bitch, one that is throwing his toys at the wall and crying when he doesn't get his own way, Naruto mocked. Red Arrow's face flushed red at that, his jaw tightening as he took a step forward, his face contorting in anger. Enough, Batman said sternly, his voice causing all of them to pause as he looked around at them. With Red Arrow looking to be on the verge of picking a fight with Naruto, whilst Naruto just looked amused. Green Arrow, Aqualad, Miss Martian and Kid Flash all looking worried and conflicted as they saw the ongoing confrontation escalate. Even Artemis looked like she was on the verge of laughing. Very well, Naruto sighed, so why are you here? I take it you didn't just come to pick a fight? No, Red Arrow bit out, his dislike of Naruto obviously warring with his reason for being here. I did come for a reason named Dr. Sterling Rocket. Robin immediately recognized the name. Nanorobotics genius and Claytronics expert at Royal University in Star City, he announced as he used his holographic wrist computer to pull up her information so that everyone else could see it. Infinity also recognized the name. I remember, she vanished 2 weeks ago without a trace. He added. She was abducted 2 weeks ago by the League of Shadows. Red Arrow corrected. Whoa, you want us to rescue her from the League of Shadows? Robin asked in excitement. No, I've already rescued her, Roy answered before pulling out a device. There was only one problem. The Shadows had already coerced her into creating a weapon. He activated the device and a hologram appeared in front of the group, revealing the image of a cylindrical-like device and something that looked to be a robotic bug. The doc calls it the Fog. It's comprised of millions of microscopic robots, nanotech infiltrators, capable of disintegrating anything in their path: concrete, steel, flesh, and bone. But its true purpose isn't destruction. It's theft. The infiltrators eat and store raw data from any computer system and deliver the stolen data to the Shadows. He explained. So far they've been using it on universities like the Miami Beach University in Florida, but it's more than likely that these attacks were just test runs to make sure the weapon worked properly. It's only a matter of time before they start hitting major corporations like Star Labs, for example, or even hack into and steal codes from military facilities. So basically this weapon will give them access to weapons, strategic defenses, cutting-edge science and tech, Infinity said as he caught on to how dangerous the Fog was. Perfect for extortion, manipulation, power brokering. Yeah, sounds like the Shadows, Artemis commented. Wally scoffs. Like you know anything about the Shadows, he retorted while Artemis just smirks at him. Who are you? He shouted angrily. Rocket's working on a virus to disable the Fog. Red Arrow continued ignoring the byplay as he instead focused on the task at hand. But if the Shadows know that she can do that, then they'll target her, Robin commented. Right now, Rocket is off the grid. I stashed her in the local high school's computer lab, Red Arrow stated as the hologram shifted to an image of Happy Harbor High School. Seriously? Naruto asked in amusement, the tone of his voice evident. You could have brought her here, to a high-security league building, filled with superheroes that can protect her. Or taken her back to your base, or even one of Green Arrow's safe houses. But no, instead you drop her off at a high school, a very large, exposed and public building, one with easily hackable security cameras. And you have the nerve to call us rookies. I don't need to explain myself to you, Red Arrow replied coldly, his eyes narrowing behind his mask at the mockery. She's safe enough for now. Roy, that's enough, Green Arrow said. Let's you and I make sure that Rocket stays safe. You and I? Don't you want to take your new protégé? Roy questioned. Green Arrow stepped forward but was stopped by Batman putting his hand on his shoulder. Green Arrow sighed in defeat. You brought this to the team. That means it's their mission now, which means it's her mission too, he stated, gesturing to the group. TCH, then my job's done, Red Arrow said as he walked towards the Zeta Beam teleporter tube. Recognize, Speedy, the computer started. That's Red Arrow B07 update, Roy growled before he vanished in a flash of light. What a cunt, Naruto said bluntly, folding his arms and ignoring the reprimanding looks he received from several of those around him. You guys really want that guy, on the team? Artemis snorted with laughter as she heard that, even as Aqualad, Kid Flash and Robin scowled, whilst Miss Martian and Kara, who was standing off to the side, shared a bemused look. You wouldn't understand, Calder said with a sigh. You're damn right about that, Naruto replied dryly, before he shook his head and looked to the team at large. All right, enough talk. It looks like we have a new mission. Everyone get ready and meet at the bioship. You've got 5 minutes. 9:30 p.m. Happy Harbor High School. After making sure the high school was secure, Megan had them all linked up telepathically so the Shadows couldn't intercept their comlink messages. Man, talking telepathically is weird, Artemis commented. It's like I'm talking without actually talking. Like seriously, how do you guys deal with having someone else inside your head? I mean, there are some things I'd rather keep private. Like what? Kid Flash replied snarkily, his lip curling upwards in amusement as he saw her obvious discomfort. Is there something that you're trying to hide? Leave her be, Kid Flash. This is a new experience for her. And Artemis, relax, Naruto said, his gaze focused on Wally to quell the next taunt before it occurred, after which his gaze shifted to the newest member of the team. This kind of communication is perfect for missions, and Miss Martian doesn't probe our memories or anything like that. Instead, she just connects our minds and relays the surface thoughts. Good to know. The last thing I would want is to know what exists in the dark recesses of the Wallman's mind, Artemis replied, her relief at this information coming through the mental connection as she did so, even as she used the opportunity to tease Kid Flash. "Hey," Wally replied irritably. "Okay, can you guys tone down the chatter?" Dr. Rocket asked. "Coding a distributive algorithm virus on a kiddie computer with less RAM than my wristwatch is hard enough. Now I have to hear teens think in my skull." She grabbed her head in frustration. Naruto sent the doctor a dry look, but he restrained himself from saying anything, since he didn't want to antagonize the person they were assigned to protect, especially since she had the best shot of creating the virus to terminate the fog. Kid Flash, however, could not help himself. "Lady, do you always complain when someone tries to help you?" Wally asked as he was eating a snack. While this was going on, Naruto was looking over the blueprint for the school as he began to think of the best defensive strategy he could, based off the information he had available to him, including about both the school and what he knew about the League of Shadows, which, thanks to his memory loss, was not much, other than that they relied on stealth, and were basically modern-day ninjas, who excelled in assassination, infiltration, sabotage, espionage, and the like. Artemis, however, sat off to one side on another desk, one which was next to Rocket. The blonde more interested in the conversation between Kid Flash and Rocket than in what the others were doing at the moment. "Pot kettle. Have you met?" Artemis asked, gesturing between Kid Flash and Sarling. Hey, I do not need attitude from the newbie who drove Red Arrow off the team," Kid Flash retorted. "Hey, that is so not on me. If anything, it is Red Arrow's for being a moron, and seriously, is that really the name he chose to distinguish himself from Green Arrow?" Artemis scoffed irritably, her lip curving upwards and her satisfaction oozing through the mental connection as her sardonic comment provoked the desired response from the speedster. Before he could reply, though, Dr. Rocket visibly gritted her teeth, before gesturing at the computer in frustration. "Fate of the world at stake. Is any of this ringing a bell?" "Rocket, stop with the exaggerating, it's not helping anything." "Artemis, Kid Flash, stop your damn bickering. On top of that, all of you shut the hell up, and let Rocket get back to work." Naruto finally spoke up, again helpfully magnifying his own voice and the rest of the team, and Rocket's, heads as he did so. Everyone in the room, except Gan and Naruto, clutched their heads and stopped talking at that, all of them looking to Naruto as he finally stood up fully and stopped looking at the map. "Was that really necessary?" Aqualad asked, rubbing his temple, even as Kid Flash and Artemis looked away from one another. "Yes," Naruto replied bluntly. "Now gather round. I have a plan." After the team was gathered, Naruto went over his plan. "Right to begin with, Artemis and Kid Flash, you two are to sweep the halls of the school, keeping moving, and make sure to watch out for anything that looks suspicious. Due to your training, or your natural abilities, are the most likely to spot if anything is amiss, and so would be the most useful to have patrolling the corridors. Miss Martian, meanwhile, will stay here with me. I will act as the last defense for the doctor. Miss Martin, meanwhile, will keep the mental communication network active, and will routinely scan the surrounding area for unfamiliar mental activity." Naruto continued, wanting to outline his plan first before he took comments. "As for Robin and Aqualad, the two of you will be heading out to locate the fog, with the extent and range of your powers, and your technical know-how and Rocket's virus to destroy the fog, you will be best suited to deal with the weapon and those using it." While Naruto could just teleport to the fog, he felt that given his vast array of powers, he was the best suited to protect Rocket and get her out if anything went awry. And while he would also prefer to send Kid Flash with Robin and Aqualad, and keep another heavy hitter to protect the doctor, he didn't really have anyone to spare. "This is a good idea. But the virus will not be of much use if we cannot find the weapon," Aqualad commented as he turned to the doctor. "Can you track it?" "My utility bot is not a weapon," Dr. Rocket argued. "It's science, brilliant science. And of course I can track it. But I'd have to go online to do that. You might as well rent a billboard with this address and assassinate me written in neon." She sighed and pinched the bridge of her nose. Naruto put a hand on her shoulder and gave her a reassuring smile. "Our whole purpose here is to protect you so you can track and then destroy the fog. So long as we are here, you're safe," he assured her. Rocket could tell that he was giving her the truth. She pushed the enter button on the computer, going online. "Tracking the fog now," she said as the computer pulled up a global image and began to track the weapon. Private airfield in Philadelphia. Professor Ojo was having a drink when his computer started beeping. He pressed a button and a holographic screen appeared with a headshot of Dr. Rocket on it. Ojo then pressed another button, contacting Sensei. "Rocket has surfaced to track us," he reported as he began tracking Rocket as well. "But that link's a two-way street. I'm sending her location now." At an unknown location. Sensei looked at the information. Who do we have near, Happy Harbor, Rhode Island? He asked one of his subordinates. Cheshire is closest, Ojo replied, along with the master's esteemed daughter. Send her the orders, Sensei ordered. Back at Happy Harbor High School, Infinity had his eyes closed and was using his sensing ability to make sure that there was no one trying to sneak into the school. I've located the fog, Rocket told him. It's in Philadelphia. All right, Miss Martian, reconfigure the bio ship so that Robin and Aqualad can pursue, he ordered. Megan pointed into the sky, causing the bio ship to appear and land in front of the school. Ready, she informed them as Aqualad and Robin ran to the ship. Kid Flash, patrol the hallways and take it slow, Infinity ordered, only for Wally to dash off. I said take it slow. All right, Wally grumbled as he started walking the hallways. A few minutes later, Naruto started to sense movement. I'm sensing something. Movement. Definitely human. There's 2 of them. They're definitely being sneaky about it. Ms. M? I can feel several presences on the outskirts of the school's grounds, but their minds are all partially shielded. I am struggling to lock in on them, Gan told him. Then they're here, Naruto said. Be on the lookout, everyone, company's here. With Kid Flash. Wally was walking down a hallway when he noticed a shadow on the ground move as he got closer. He dashed after the shadow and caught a glimpse of the shadow by the indoor swimming pool. He rushed into the area but slipped on black marbles that were on the floor, which he didn't notice at all. He cried out in surprise and fell onto his back. Kid Flash groaned and looked to the side only to see a black boot coming towards him before everything went black. The attacker used her foot to push Kid Flash into the pool before heading back into the school. Computer lab. It feels like Kid Flash isn't responding, Gan said to Naruto as she felt Wally's surface thoughts just stop. He's by the pool right now. They may have gotten to him. Go help him. I'll handle things here, Naruto said as Gan phased through the floor. Infinity was watching over Dr. Rocket with his arms folded in front of him when he heard the door open behind them. Don't react, but the assassins are here, he told her telepathically as he lowered his arms to his side. Naruto heard a shuriken whizzing through the air towards the professor's head, but he quickly spun around and grabbed it out of the air. Stop what you're doing and hide, he ordered, and the professor didn't need to be told twice. The door to the computer lab slammed open and 2 females came dashing to the room. The first was wearing a kunoichi battle outfit and a grinning cat mask with red markings and drew out 2 sayas from her sheath. She was Cheshire, an assassin from the League of Shadows. The second was wearing a gray form-fitting bodysuit with the zipper unzipped down to her midriff, exposing her cleavage. She had a Ruger pistol strapped to her waist, a katana strapped to her back, and wore black gloves. She was a 26-year-old Arabian woman with flowing light brown hair down to her mid-back, alluring light green eyes, high cheekbones, and a sharp nose. This was Talia al Ghul, daughter of Raz al Ghul. Talia didn't want to waste any time and pulled out her gun, aiming it at Rocket. Naruto, his reflexes just as fast, used his telekinesis to dismantle the gun until it was in pieces. No guns in the classroom, Naruto quipped as he pulled his double-bladed sword out of his pocket dimension and enveloped Rocket in a force field. He was still new to this aspect of it, and would have trouble maintaining his concentration to keep the barrier up and fighting at the same time. Artemis, Miss Martian, Kid Flash, the assassins are in the building. Get your asses in here. Now! He yelled telepathically as Talia pulled her sword out and took a swing at his throat. Naruto blocked the attack and countered with a spin kick that Talia rolled with. This allowed Cheshire to get Rocket into her line of sight. We're on our way, Artemis said as she raced to the room while Gan was still helping Wally. Cheshire threw her sai with deadly accuracy only for it to bounce off the force field. The professor let out an eek in surprise when it did. Infinity then flipped into the air and headed towards Cheshire, intending on delivering a drop kick, only for Cheshire to flip backwards. Infinity's foot hit the ground hard, causing a dent to form. The only way you're getting to her is through me, Naruto pointed out menacingly. Cheshire threw more shuriken at Naruto, while Talia tried to get close enough to kill Dr. Rocket. Naruto blocked the shuriken with his blades and forced Talia to fall back by using his telekinesis to throw a desk at her.